time.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Roll with Advantage. Welcome to this session of the Tales of Evrand. We've got a lot to get into today, so let's go ahead and roll the intro and get into it.
Rip off the headset, throw the wig, and put it back on.
Honestly, I think it'd look pretty cool with my hair, under my hair. Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
we're back.
So we're back. Hello. With that, John, take it away.
Hey, welcome to the Tales of Evrand, session 29, or
Book 3, Chapter 11.
there we go. So before we jump into the game, on my end I'm laggy, but whatever. Before we jump into the game, we're gonna do a couple things. Firstly, we're gonna do this new segment we've been doing, Rachel's Notes. The note today was picked out by Nick. Rachel, what is that note from last session?
It was. And today's theme is gender-bent Elvin John, because I could not do a other character. Anyway, what?
That's your makeup, gender-bent
It
Elvin
is-
John.
Gender-bent Elvin John. Anyway, my note from last session that Nick so graciously chose is: vampires and half vampires cry blood. That's so emo. I wish I could do that. Teen Rachel is shitting and crying now.
Yeah,
Felt
that's a
that
good one. I read that one. It was pretty
There
good.
it is. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh my
Thank you.
god.
Also, Nick on summary this week, because I don't do summary, and it's a
Yeah.
tradition in RWA across the board. DMs don't do that shit. So Nick, please take it away with the summary from last week.
Nick, you.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Hey there, it's me, Gak. Lots of stuff is coming round and some of it makes me uncomfortable. We ate the soup at first and it was burnt and also cold, which I didn't know could happen with soup. Scylla and Gabe, our new vampire friends, agreed to kill their family with our help. Scylla didn't like the soup and instead wanted to drink blood. Basil let her, which kind of upset me. Getting bit by a vampire was a really bad thing a month ago, and now it's like a funny thing to do? I don't know. The Blackmores want us to come to their house when they're unkillable, which seems like a bad deal on our side. Urso was really upset and tried to hide it behind a lot of flower talk. Also, Basil's Raven mom is still her mom, so nothing new there. The end.
Amazing. What a great summary. Round of applause. So, as we jump back into this game, basically the same song. Okay. As we jump
Different
back in, it's different enough. Everyone can hit the long rest button, as you all took a long rest. Finally. It is. Oh, it's Elysius the 7th. I mean, eighth.
Elias.
I mean,
Elias.
It's Elias the 8th.
Ah.
We
Elias.
love ass in this house.
Oh.
We're an
Okay,
ass
what?
family.
That's right.
Kayla's on camera and feeling feisty.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also, can we talk about Kayla real quick before we start?
Yes.
Please
Yeah.
Heck
don't look at my
yeah.
face. Get out.
Let me. Oh man, what's going on here? Let me go to Rachel's makeup corner and change the angle as Kayla commandeers
The
it.
makeup is so good. It's
Oh,
so good.
thanks. It's rough. It's the first
No.
in a row, but thank you. I'm a
It
little
is
shiny.
Looks
beautiful.
Awesome.
Thanks. It makes my teeth look good, so that matters, baby.
You know, honestly,
Uh,
we can just highlight our two in character actors here.
Hey.
Fully in character. Modern Ursa and modern Basil. Look at that.
Amazing. I said before we started, I said we need to get like gamer girl Ursa art And now
Oh,
we need,
yeah.
gamer girl basil art.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Just both
Yes.
of them.
Knight, just write it
Just them.
down. We need
Knight.
Oh
we
my
need
God.
Yursa
Put it on
and
your list.
Basil. We need
Put it
Yursa
on
and
the
Basil as
list.
the lo-fi hip hop girl.
Oh!
Yes!
Oh my
Yes!
Hell yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
needs to
man.
be like the slowly moving where we're
Yes.
writing in a
Yeah.
journal.
Yeah.
Oh my
Alright.
God.
Hair,
love
hair
it.
Yursa in the corner.
Yursa in a hammock, Basil next to a gravestone. Hell yeah.
Or Yursa
Love
as a
it.
bear with Basil leaning up against.
Oh.
The bear has
Yeah.
headphones.
Awesome.
The
bear has
has
headphones.
Yes.
Basil's playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome.
Look, I'm just saying, if there's anyone that's actually watching this right now and is an artist, you should
Do
that.
it,
I
please.
see you, Gemma.
Do it, please.
If Gemma watched these, sure.
I didn't want to make that joke, but I was like,
Gemma doesn't even have time to be in them.
yeah.
Time to watch
True.
them.
That's fair.
So let's
We'll just
let's,
crop this and send it to her.
There you go.
let's bring it back into the game. So as you all wake up the next morning, supposedly you are deep underground in an ice ruin.
Oh, that's right. We all fell asleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can see as you do wake up, Ada is not in the room currently. Vey, you would know that Ada is. Oh,
When
Gak,
did
you would have
he get
woken
up?
up. You would have woken up.
Everyone would have woken up.
So that's how you wake up in the morning. Ada is dressed. He opens the door, and you guys hear.
Hey, Gak, someone's in here.
What the? Did you put an alarm spell?
He
does that
everywhere, Ada. How did you not know that?
You really need to get your head out of a book sometimes.
That is fair.
I've
I'm
never
sorry for
s-
waking everyone.
That's
What
okay.
time is it?
I don't know, but I feel like it's very early. I wake up probably around the same
Wow.
time every day. It's probably around 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow. All right.
Well, we went to bed at like last night, so I think we're good.
There you go.
I think we've all been through a lot, and so it was good to get a decent night of sleep.
I agree. Oh, hello. And you hear, hello. Are you all, I assume, awake now? Gabriel
We are
is
now.
at the door.
Yeah.
I think Rand would lean over to Yersa and be like, "This is the second time I've had a party in a room that I've been staying in. Look at this."
That's a nice callback. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you all, when you're ready, find me in the dining room, and I'll take you to Koza.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's right.
Is Scylla doing okay?
Excuse me?
Is Scylla doing okay?
Celia.
Oh, Celia. Yes, she is fine. She is roaming the halls. I don't think she wants to talk to anybody currently.
John, if she was roaming the halls, then my alarm would have gone off.
Other halls. Other halls. In the-
Actually, no. Wait, yes, you did put an alarm. There was
Yep.
2 alarms, or wasn't there?
Yeah.
It didn't go off. It's crazy.
Oh no.
It's like she's a vampire or something.
Oh, there's a side door.
She opened a window somewhere and crawled
Oh
out.
God.
I'll be in the dining hall. And Gabriel walks off. Well, I'm going to go downstairs and get some whatever drink he has and get ready for the next 2 days of travel. See you there. And Ada walks out. And you all are left there to your devices.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just gonna say, do we want to eat something before we leave? Because I can head down there and I can start making some soup, and I can make sure it's not burnt.
I think
just-
that is a lovely idea, right?
Very nice of you, Gak. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
Okay. Alrighty.
Rand, do you have something to say? Good morning.
Gak just starts to leave.
Good morning. No,
What's up?
I think maybe you're misinterpreting my my mumblings of agreement as disdain or discomfort. I am fine.
Am I?
Yes.
Are you not uncomfortable?
Now that I'm out of the bed, I'm doing great.
Are you
Good.
ready to be a flower today?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes,
The
I
flowers.
flowers. Yes, I remember.
Great.
I'm
You might
fine.
need a lot of watering. Yes, sir.
Rian's gonna walk out of the room.
As Rian walks out of the room, you hear Gak go, "Hey, Rian, maybe you're not feeling good because you didn't do training last night."
Maybe, Gak. Maybe. Rian's gonna walk past Gak.
Rian's not a morning person.
Rian is a
Rian's
morning
not
person.
Not an
a person.
early
He's
morning
not
person.
a person.
Rian's
He's
not
always
a
grumpy.
Seekers of Insomnia person.
He is a. That's the thing, though, is he is a morning person. Everyone's just coming at him with such disdain right now. He just.
well, when
he
you
went.
go like a
That's all he did.
when
He
you-
went. Gak said, "I'm gonna go make breakfast," and Rian went, "Mm-hmm." And then
How do
everyone
you
was
take
like,
that though.
"Then he's like,
No.
good breakfast."
If
Rian
if
walks out of the
someone were
room.
to look at me and go,
Yeah, yours is gonna be
"Mhm."
breakfast.
I
Ursa
would be
walks out
offended.
too.
Every time they walk out of the room, you hear, "Hey, Gak, someone's in here."
Oh my god.
Wouldn't the alarm go away? Doesn't it trigger and then disappear?
No, it lasts for a certain amount of time, and it
Goddamn,
triggers every
okay.
time. Yeah,
Shit.
it
Yeah.
lasts
That's really
lasts for
funny.
8 hours.
Gak, Basil, Vey, are you heading downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Gak's already out. Go making soup.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vey was like dead, face down into a pillow until people started bickering, and then you could just see his like head shift to like look at everyone, and then he like kind of turned it, and he's just waiting for people to leave.
Okay. Everyone leaves. Are you trying to get an extra 10 minutes of sleep in?
Yeah,
Like, you
and
know,
then he's
it's
gonna...
the bus is almost here.
Yeah, I mean, people walk out, and he's like, "All right," and he'll get up and just trail in after everyone else.
This morning, there's not. Gak is making soup. There's not there's not meat on the table. There's nothing out.
Good.
It's super early. Gabriel found that you were up. There are drinks for everyone, of your choice of mead or just water. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabriel looks to all of you and says, Koza is usually out currently fishing. So soon, if we can leave, we will be able to catch him.
Yes.
Anytime, really.
Eat, drink. You have a long travel ahead of you. Celia and I will be leaving here within a day's time towards the port town of Shradina. Do you know it?
No.
Well, it is a large port town in East Varia, but also in Dagrum. It kind of split the territory between the two of them. It's the port city that runs ships to Blackmore Island.
Mm.
We will make our way there, and we will wait.
Should do you want us to meet you at the port town?
If we want to discuss battle plans further, then that would be preferred, yes.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if we needed to meet at the island or meet at the port.
I think it would be best for all of us to speak with Lady Gemcloak and assess our situation. Perhaps she can provide us some answers, and then maybe we'll have a better idea of how we want to move forward. And we can meet you in this city.
Agreed. Well, I will be waiting for you. Just follow down the Great Hall. There's a door there. I'll be there when you're ready. And he walks off. Ada kind of finishes drinking and eating and says, honestly, Gak, this was actually very good.
Thank you.
Better than yesterday's soup. And he finishes it and puts the bowl down and gets up and walks out and says, "Let's go! Come on!"
I mean, he just eats fast. And that's
Yeah,
like,
Rian just got his bowl of soup and hasn't even taken a bite yet.
I mean,
Where did he store it
Ignore
all?
him.
I don't know
He's
if we
going
need
to
to
be
take
waiting for a while.
I don't know if we need to take a vote or something. But I'm going to finish my food. So.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I think we should eat and not rush.
So while you all eat and drink, you can talk amongst yourselves about your plan for the next 2 days, or questions for Lady Gemcloak, anything. You guys can talk amongst yourself.
Do you guys remember? I don't know who has the letter from Oberon, but I think, did we have to say that we were going before we go, or do we just like show up, and if we don't show up, that's when he's upset? I wasn't sure if we had to like tell him we were coming.
I believe he asked us to respond. But he also didn't give us a time limit as to when to respond, if I recall correctly.
Hmm.
But I do remember him saying it would be rude if we just ignored it. But you're right, we should at some point respond and let him know that we still plan on coming.
Yeah. Okay. When should we tell him?
I think we can make a more informed decision after we have our encounter with Lady Gemcloak. Might be information we can gain from her about the Blackmoors or vampires in general, and from there we can decide how we want to go about this situation exactly. At least that's what I think.
Do you think that if we like we're running late and we just like we're really trying to get there and we just like don't get there on time, is he still gonna be mad? Even if we like really try to make it on time.
Well, I think he said business about 6 times in the letter, so it seems as though he would expect us to be curt and on time.
Yeah. Wants us to travel across
the
whole-
continent, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think if we, at the very least, let him know we do plan on attending, that'll give him some peace of mind, I suppose.
I guess we could always say that we plan on attending and then not show up.
Well, again, I think that just depends on what our plan is, right?
I agree, but it's an option.
Yeah.
I think it depends on if we're able to get extra help or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'd kind of feel bad if we didn't go now, just because of Scylla and Gabe, because I know that like we don't really know them that much, and Scylla also like tried to kill us, and I don't trust her pretty much at all. But I'd still feel bad if we like told them like, yeah, go there, we'll meet you, and then we don't, and then they have to deal with it.
Well,
Right.
you know, there are ways to speak with people when we're not with them, so if for any reason we're not able to go or decide to not go, we can definitely tell them.
Yeah.
And I think we plan to. I think this is business that we should settle. We should take care of this. But again, when we have a more concrete plan of attack, if that's the way we're phrasing it, attacking, but I do think that we'd very much plan on helping them when we know how.
Oof.
Oof is right.
Gak's definitely a soup slurper, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valid.
Well, there's nothing else. You all finish up your soup and drinks, gather your things, and walk out of the dining hall down the long, icy corridor of this ruined manor, castle. It's hard to tell. But this long lost building underneath hundreds of feet of ice. you see that Ada and Gabriel are talking as Gabriel looks to everyone and says, "Are you ready?"
I guess.
All right. Follow me. He starts stepping up and then stops and looks back and says, "Does anyone have any sort of protection magic from peering eyes?"
I can check.
God.
And Gak just kind of pulls out his book.
The reason I ask is this place, there's enough divine energy and magic that stops those things from peering through, which is why I've found this as my home. However, I will be stepping outside, and I'm not sure if my father will be watching.
Does he?
Goodness.
Oh
Let
yeah,
me
he doesn't
look
think you're
through.
dead.
Let me look through Otto's
Yeah.
50 million spells real
I
fast.
feel like they would have something. Otto.
They?
No, like Ada. Sorry, not they.
Oh yeah. I was
Otto
like,
would have something because like I don't think yours has anything. I saw protection from energy, but that's not what I thought it was.
I will say, the way I kind of rule scrying and stuff, it is like an invisible, like magical thing. So if you see invisibility, technically be able to see a scrying eye. And then dispel magic can also,
Oh, well, yours has dispel magic.
but you have to see the
And
eye.
I have to see it. Yeah, that doesn't help if I can't see it.
Gak's gonna focus on his book, thinking about people looking at him.
Okay, I'd like you to roll a d100.
Ooh, let's see.
Ooh.
79.
Let me look at something. Hold on.
Rian will look at his sword and dagger and go, "Nope, no magic here.
Nope.
I've got a
sorry,
potion of speed if that'll help."
Just
Gak,
run away from the eye.
Gak, as you focus and everybody's kind of looking through their spells and like kind of thinking, you open it. What do you say to the book?
Hey, got anything that can help people to stop looking at us?
Okay. That's not what I was expecting, but I don't know what I was expecting.
I was like,
So-
what else did you
I
expect?
don't know. As you hold the book, the pages start turning frantically, and the pages stop. And then the center between the page starts to glow a bright white. And then there's like this aura that kind of emanates over the book, one of the pages, as a rune inscribes itself and stays stationary. You can attempt to cast whatever thing is on that book you would like.
Yeah. Also, as all this is happening, Gak is like looking at it, and then he kind of looks at Gabriel for a second and just kind of like turns a little bit to like try to cover up what's happening.
Yeah, Gabriel just like, what? Ada's also like, oh, interesting. So you
Yeah,
cast it?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you cast it, you watch the rune immediately break and destroy itself and almost come
Oh.
off the page and shatter as these little particles start to coalesce around everyone's bodies. And this like little shimmering magic encapsulates everyone. And then it disappears. And you get the very strong sense that if anybody were to attempt to cast the scrying spell on anybody here, it would immediately fail. For the next 4 hours.
Okay, Gabe. We're good.
What do you mean we're good?
We're fine. I
What
think
was-
for like 4 hours, then we're gonna be fine, and no one can look at us. So we're good to go.
He looks at the rest of the party.
Just go with him. Like that. Rian's not saying that aloud, but he's like, just go along with it.
All right. Thank you. Follow me.
No
And he
problem.
turns back around, and you can see that he's leading you up these stairs that looks like it possibly led to like another floor of this structure. However, eventually it stops, and then there is what looks like someone has started to carve out their own like stairs of ice that go up and kind of spiral up. You guys are walking upwards for about 25 minutes. As you keep walking and walking and walking, eventually you guys are like, where the fuck is the top? Like, this is insane. Eventually, you get to the top, and there is like a stone texture on the top. There's no light emanating from it. And you watch Gabriel just put his hands up and lift what looks like a boulder and push it to the side as he walks up again. And let me take you. Is it this one? This one. You all ascend here.
Ah.
Giant's Pass?
Yeah, I was looking at that.
You
Okay.
are on a you're like on a ravine of a mountain. There's a path that kind of goes down. Gabriel just kind of gestures you, and you follow him, and you can see that there's a specific path that he's starting to take through the mountain range and the rocks. You eventually get to trees and go through the trees. You get to a small little like pond. It's frozen over, but you can see a single section of it has been broken out, which looks for fishing. But no one is there. As Gabriel looks around, he's probably at his home. Follow me. Sorry, it's a little bit longer. Eventually, he leads you back into the forest. And what you see is in the forest, what looks like this a small little hut that is circular in shape, that has two like a circular dome on the bottom and then a dome on the top with a single like metal chimney. You can see that there's a single door with a large like porthole window that has like the shutters open on it. But the house itself is built a little bit ragged, but also bigger than a normal person. As Gabriel just says, stay here. And he walks up and knocks on the door. Eventually, you see, opening the door, kind of almost putting his hands up and kind of moving underneath the door, a large, bulky, white-furred bear folk, but a polar bear folk. And what you see,
So good.
and you can see on his back, he's actually carrying a fishing rod. He also has a patch on the left eye. His hair kind of goes into like these braids, like almost Viking braids. He wears nothing up top. He has bands on his arms, but he has just like a green cloth around. And you can see off to the side, there's like these red, like almost trout-looking fish that are on this line. As he grabs them and says, you don't hear what they're saying, but he looks past Gabriel and like waves, and what you see
You're just so excited.
is Koza.
Oh
My God.
I
He
wanna be his
fishes?
friend.
His arms are so long. Oh my
Oh.
God.
Look, he's missing an eye.
Oh, I like his
Is this-
braids.
Is this Ajax's brother?
Yeah.
Twice removed.
Twice removed.
Oh my god.
Somehow we got.
Oh,
Oh, in his little hut.
Oh.
Wait, Jonathan. You said the vampire was kind of off limits, but the polar bear. What are our options there?
Let me fuck the polar bear, John.
I love.
What the fuck? Jesus. How do I shuffle this? Oh God. Hold on.
Wow, what happened? Is polar bear's gonna eat us?
Peaceful Meadow? Sure. Let me see if I can get some snow effects.
It's snowing.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
Oh, those.
Crunch, crunch,
Mm.
crunch, crunch.
That's not. Sorry. Okay, we're just gonna go with this for right now. So Gabriel says some words to him, points to you all, and holds up his hand. He walks back and says, Koza has agreed to take you most all of the way to Lady Gemcloak's castle. You are in good hands. You shouldn't run into anything. He knows the land very well. I guess this is goodbye for right now. I'll be heading back.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Oh my god.
Thank you for your horse brutality.
Is this the game we're playing?
No.
I don't have anything.
As soon as we figure out what exactly we're going to be doing, we will reach out to you.
Very well. Be safe.
You too.
Also, thank you for not stabbing me as well.
You're welcome.
Yes.
It was easy not to.
Try telling my sister that.
Oh, that's
Siblings, you know.
Sure. Anyways, see you later. Safe travels. I hope you find everything you're looking for. I hope your questions are answered.
And
Goodbye.
thank you, Gabriel, for everything.
You as well. And he turns off and starts walking into the forest.
Pea soup, dude.
Yep.
How do you spell Koza?
Koza.
Oh, hell yeah.
K-O-Z-A.
We
That sounds like a Fire Nation name.
need. Oh, because it does sound like Kuzan.
It does.
Yeah. I just rewatched Avatar, so that was right.
Always.
That was ready to go right there.
Yrsa would go up to Koza and she would very excitedly. She would just say, "Oh, go ahead."
No, go ahead.
She would just say, "This music is cute." "Hello, my name is Yrsa. We are very excited to be in your presence."
He finishes wrapping the trouts around his belt and turns around and kind of misses the bottom of his hut with his fishing rod, and he says, "Oh, hello. Nice to meet you as well. My name is Koza. I'll be assisting you on your journey."
No, stop! Stop it.
Absolutely, you will, and I am very excited. Have you lived here your whole life?
Yes, I have myself and my family.
Your
My
family?
Yes, they're deeper down into Giant's Pass.
I'd love to meet every single one of them.
Well, they are very lovely people, but unfortunately, we need to get going.
No, that's
Gabriel,
okay. We're busy, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He asks for your names. You tell him your names.
I'm Gak.
Oh my god.
It's very nice to meet all of you. Well, is there anything you need? I have some fresh trout. I have drinks. If you need anything for the travels, it'll be about 2 days or so.
Oh, well, we did just eat, but, you know the land better than us, of course, so whatever you think is absolutely necessary for a trip.
Yes. And he looks at his fishing rod. I actually don't know why I brought this. Give me 1 second. And he opens the door and puts the fishing rod inside and closes the door. And you see him take out some keys and lock up. All right.
I want to be a part of his family.
He turns around and he says, "One quick question for all of you. Do you know how to climb?"
Yeah, we've been doing some of it.
We know the concept. Whether we actually can depends.
I wouldn't exactly
On the
say
day.
I'm proficient in it, but I can do it.
I am much better at walking than climbing.
We do have the equipment.
We
that
do.
is good. That is
Yep.
good. You're going to need the equipment.
Okay.
We are going to be climbing. The fastest way to Lady Gemcloak's castle is up the mountain. There's actually a path that will lead straight to it. It's just. Do you know what avalanches are?
Yeah.
No.
As a
We
concept,
saw
yes.
one.
Never
Alright,
heard of it.
Just follow my lead. It should be fine. It's a path that I've taken many times. Avalanches don't really affect me much, so just kind of let them
Is that-
go over me.
Me
But,
either.
Is that
yeah.
a monster? Is that like
no,
what-
it's when a large piece of snow just starts to barrel down and can knock you off, or
That
you could die.
that's what was going to happen with those wolves. Remember?
Oh.
Do they happen
Cool.
often in this area, Koza?
Well, they don't happen. Well, I should rephrase. They used to not happen often. However, there's been a little bit of activity that has caused not only the ground to shake, but the giants to become more active in the daytime.
The climates have been changing a little bit, I'm sure.
Yes, but there's also a great worm that has awoken from hibernation. His name is
Oh,
Vorex.
We met it.
Oh, his name? He has a name?
Vorex.
Alright.
Yes. Yes.
Correct.
Alright.
It usually comes out of hibernation on around every 100 years. However, for some reason, recently it's come out of hibernation, which has kind of sped up the giants trying to get the things together, because Vorex usually, when he comes up, he kind of destabilizes them a little bit and they need to be ready to fight him. So that's why the avalanches are happening more and more, but it should
Right.
be fine.
Well,
We met Vorex.
Oh, ooh.
mm,
You're alive, so that's good. How close did you get?
On him, I think.
much too close.
Oh, wow.
A couple of times.
In fact, several of us almost wound up inside of him. Barely.
Oh,
We
Well,
would like
then you
to
know
not
exactly
meet
who-
him again, if
Yes.
possible.
well,
Fortunately, our life group motto is, "Oh, we're alive."
it's good that you're still alive. Glad to hear that you got away from Vorex. Nasty fella. Anyways, if everyone's ready, we could start moving now if you'd like.
Sure.
Of course. And Kova, while we're walking, if I don't know the next time I'll be back in an Arctic region like this, but if there's any pointers or tips you could give me about traversing land like this, I'd love to hear them. I'm trying to learn new things. And
Of course, I can talk about it on our way there.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, follow me. And he grabs a bag that looks to be made out of like leathers, and he throws it over his shoulder and starts walking. And
As
you
he
all
walks,
start-
does he go do-de 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 do?
Yep, that's
See how
exactly what happens.
Oh my god, I love him.
Yep.
Ah,
I will say that, John, we don't need to roleplay any of that stuff. It's just Rian trying to be a ranger more.
Yeah, we're gonna just it's
Cut.
time thing. I don't
Fade to
actually know how to
black.
traverse. I don't
Yeah.
know how to traverse the snow well, so
You haven't watched
Fuck
enough
if I can
episodes
play
of
that through a
Survivor.
character.
Yeah.
exactly. Let me see. Hold on. Is New Day good?
Oh, look, trouble ran up.
Glum. Oh wait.
Ooh, you could play Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Sorry, I don't have that on hand.
Damn.
He's like, get it ready
So-
for next session.
So
Extreme
eventually,
freeze.
Sorry. Sorry.
Nope. Oh, I need to turn down this one. So Koza leads the party up out of the forest, and you can see that there's this path, very thin path, that leads up and twists up the mountain itself. There is a section where you will have to, where you see the path kind of stops and then starts again, but it's about 20 feet up. So, does everyone have climbing gear?
Yes.
I think we all do. Unless did we lose it after falling down the hole, or we climbed after falling down the hole?
We climbed after.
Yeah, you climbed after.
Yeah. So then we
And-
should all have it.
Yeah, we put everything in the carts in the bag of holding anyway.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
And Ada and Vey both have little bracelets with the
Reindeer.
They got
Yeah,
the
the
they got
reindeer
the
inside.
reindeer pellets.
So you watch Koza get to the edge and just whoop, and jumps up, grabs it, and gets up and he says, if any of you have the climbing gear, I can grab it and put it up here for you.
Oh, well, thank you, Koza.
Can you
Looks to
throw it up?
Vey. Yeah.
Yeah.
They-
Faye would hand it over.
You throw it up, easy enough. You have really high strength. Koza grabs them, stakes them into the ground, throws down the ropes. There's 2 lines that come down, and he says, "All right, good luck." And for the next 5 minutes, 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, you all make your way up this section of the mountain. Luckily, you had climbing gear. Otherwise, there would have been checks.
No.
Nice.
You get up. Vey, are you grabbing the pitons? The pitons? The fuck are they called?
Yeah.
I
yeah,
never know.
Okay.
He'll, I guess, go up last to pull him out as he climbs.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you grab those and you ascend upwards and upwards and upwards. It is a trouble. The angle that you're walking at this point, your calves are burning. You are all fairly fit, but you're walking up almost 60-degree angle straight up as you are digging in with your feet and kind of getting down with your hands, climbing up. Your hands are starting to get cold, but luckily all of you have gear enough. There's no blizzard. There's very light snow falling. Eventually, you get to the top and you can feel the cold gets colder and colder as you go up, but also the air gets thinner and thinner. You can still breathe, but you're having trouble a little bit as you're kind of trying to manually do it on your own. As Koza looks back and goes, "Is everyone okay? We good?
Yeah.
Doing
All right.
great.
All right. Well, it's a straight shot this way. We won't be climbing up anymore. There'll be a descent a couple hours from now, but we'll just keep going forward. So follow me. As you, is it not going to play the song again? Oh, it ends here. Okay. Sorry. The song ended in a minute before it actually ends. So, spooky. Let's do.
We could just make the snow footsteps sound effects really loud.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I
guys.
stand by Haven if you have it.
Haven.
What
Haven.
if we
Haven
sing,
B.
Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no mountain.
You know-
high enough."
John, Rian fights a lot like Tiandi, so
Shut up. There we go. I got Haven B. Cool. So, as you're walking, as the clouds, because the clouds are now beneath you at this point, they start to part a little bit, and you can see the valley. You can see this vast, just ocean of snow beneath you. It is beautiful because as the light kind of peers through these clouds, which for the first time in a long time, you're actually kind of seeing the sun above you. There's still multitudes of clouds above you, but you are, within the first layer. You can see the light hitting the snow below, creating this diamond effect over the valley itself. in the distance, you can see large, I guess, Viking-esque built buildings that are towering. It's really hard to tell from this perspective, but they probably tower upwards to 15 to 20 feet. You would assume, and with Ada pointing it out, there is a colony of giants beneath this mountain.
Do they look nice?
You can't see any of them right now. You can just see the houses. As you walk, you are on this it's probably 5 feet across, right up against a mountain. Very thin pathway. I will say, Rianne, for you, is there any check, is there a check that needs to be made to gain more expertise in snow, or is it the thing that a ranger can do where they just can learn it? We said.
Well, the thing is I went with the alternative features, so I was figuring this would just be more of a flavor thing as opposed to an actual
Okay.
bonus.
Over the next hour or so, Koza relays information about traveling and traversing through snow and snowy mountains and the terrain around.
Nice.
Vey, you kind of already know all these things. Ada actually really doesn't. He only knows from books. He's never been out this far. So
Nerd.
he's also listening in. Yeah, he's a giant nerd. So with that going on, you come to a large drop-off where Koza looks back and says, if I could get the protons, I could put them down again and we can all descend.
Yep, here you go.
He places them in, and you just watch him jump down. And then as he jumps down, he turns around and his claws kind of grab the side, and he slides down and jumps off and lands in the snow. All right, we're good. Come on down. And no checks
Down we
needed
go.
again, because climbing gear, guys. Make sure if you're traversing mountains, you get climbing gear.
Prepared.
So you all descend, and now you are about 60 or so feet below where you were before. So now you're back below, right below the clouds. You can touch them with your hand. As you continue on, is there anything you guys want to talk about as you're continuing on, or?
Yes. Can you say only you can prevent forest fires, but in Koza's voice?
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah.
Yes!
Cool.
All
Hell
right,
yeah.
that's a great session. Thank you guys so much for watching.
See you later.
Book 3, Chapter 11.
Forest fires.
Hell yeah.
Wrap it up.
Where is it at?
My nose is so itchy.
I can't find. I can't find my music.
I love how Jonathan was like,
Kayla, if you have
I
a
had
bobby
to-
pin, sometimes I go in and I just
I'm just not
I
gonna
have
do
stab
music.
my nose.
Pin.
Yeah, I'll just stab my nose.
So
What were you saying, Knight, real quick?
no, I was just gonna say, Jonathan was like, man, I got so much more music on here. I had to update my servers, and he's like, I fucking,
got
there's
too
all this
much music.
music.
I
He
can't
doesn't
remember
know
what it's
songs are
called.
which.
Yeah.
What's it sound like?
It's we're just gonna fucking go with this. So as you guys are walking, you do feel a shake beneath the mountain, a very slight shake, and you hear this. And Koza stops and puts his hand up to everybody. Everyone, get near the wall, as close as you can. We're gonna keep walking. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Just get very close to the wall. If you have anything that can latch onto the wall, take that out now.
Oh, okay.
And you continue walking. Once again, you feel as it shakes. You see a little bit of snow from above you kind of trickle down, but nothing crazy. But eventually you look down and you see below you where this sound of crashing and this rumbling is coming from. You look down and you see a group of 4 large frost giants that are being thrown around. One hits the side of the mountain at the base, and that's what this rumbling is coming from. As Koza says, okay, everyone just hold on. And he kind of grips the side of the stone. If everyone has anything, you can put your sword in the ground. You can do whatever you would like here soon. But as you're looking down, you also see emerging from the ice itself this large, not 1, not 2, but 3 large blue scaled skinned insect-like worm creatures with this frill behind. As you see, the face looks like an insect, but its body looks like a centipede, but worm as well. It has like the fins of a cobra behind its neck that are lighting up this bright red color. And you watch these frost giants that are fighting these things. You watch one of these creatures. If everyone wants to roll me a history check.
I know what these are, but
I know
they
what
may
these
not.
are too.
Jonathan's been wanting to use these forever.
They're one of my favorite icy monsters.
Mine too, but
I
they're
don't
not
know.
attacking you.
No, I'm
Oh, I
thankful
didn't
for that. As a melee fighter, I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, because we're like looking down at them, right?
Yeah, you guys are far
Yeah.
up. You're just watching this happen. What you see, because I didn't apparently have it here, you see this. Oh, apparently not. Copy image. Nope. Okay. Does this work? Nope. Okay. Cool.
I still
I'm
click
just
on
going to. Yeah, I'm just gonna post it in the channel in Evrand.
Ooh.
Oh my god. No.
Oh my god. what the f-
Rimaraz.
Boom.
Yeah. Anyone? Okay. You know what?
Very cool.
It does have spikes. And can it fly?
No.
No.
I don't like it.
It's. I don't know why you were able to copy that. Cool. So.
I'm just trying to help, John.
Thank you so much. You watch as this, anybody who rolled above a 15 history, you would know exactly what this is. It is a very formidable creature that lives only in icy tundras known as a Remoraz. It is a creature made of cold, this insect-like creature, but also emits this great heat from its body. As you watch these frost giants are wrestling around with it, one of the Remoraz wraps its tail around the giant and throws it against the side of the mountain. You watch another giant come over with a large club and smack one of the Remoraz on the top, and then eventually grab on top of the Remoraz and start to almost choke it out. You see another Remoraz starts to attack the giant on top of its kin, and there's this just fist fight between these frost giants and these Remorazes. Eventually you watch one of the Remoraz, their head gets cut clean off by this large great axe by one of the frost giants, which then grabs the body of the one that's head got cut off and smacks it into another one of the bodies of the Remoraz. And eventually these frost giants take down these 2 worm-like creatures and start wrapping rope around their neck and in their mouth, and it looks like they're trying to almost tame it as they grab onto the back and start to pull as the Remoraz starts to shift and try to get these frost giants off. Eventually the Remoraz, both of them that are still alive, go unconscious, but at this point you also noticed that above you there's an avalanche that is starting to take form above you. So before this avalanche starts to coast over top of you, is there anything anybody would like to do to stop it from possibly pushing you off, taking damage, or hunkering down? Is there anything you guys would like to do? And we can go in order. So I'll go with Rian.
Yeah, Rian, this might be a bit more of a rule of cool situation, but we'll kind of see what happens. So for one, he will stick his sword into the ground underneath him to try and grip himself there. But is there any way that I can use the stone rune and channel some of that energy, which in Rune Knight it's from the Stone Giants, but in the Knight of the Okunai, it's like the mountain home. So is there any way that I could channel some of that energy, expanding that use to kind of like solidify my feet to the ground? Because the feature, all it does is it makes a creature go into a dreamy stupor if it ends its turn.
I'll say this. This is what happens. Really cool. You stab down with your sword, and as you stab down and activate that room, you watch the stone that you stabbed into start to coast up the blade, turning the blade into stone and kind of attaching itself to the ground as it goes up the entire hilt and off up to your hands. So your hands become stone as well. So you're not moving.
Okay.
So that's what you're doing.
Hell yeah.
Gak.
That's awesome.
As soon as Koza started saying like, "Hey, get prepared," Gak just kind of got down and he just started like moving snow out of the way
Okay.
against the wall, and then he's gonna take some of the climbing gear. He's just gonna like put one of the like pythons or whatever on the wall, and the other one like on the ground under the snow, and he's just like in a weird position, hunched over, just holding on to these two things.
All right, Yursa.
Speaking of really cool, she's gonna use her staff, and if possible, she wants to use erupting earth to like propel the snow like over her. So like explode it as a little fountain around her.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that. I'll allow that. We're gonna
Okay.
come back to that. You're gonna have to make a roll to see how accurate you are with the spell as the avalanche is
I
falling
get
down.
a 20-foot radius, so I can hopefully help others, but I will roll for you.
So this is a point of like the avalanche is coming down, and then you have to time the spell correctly to burst the snow above you.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Basil.
Basil's first going to cast guidance on herself.
Okay.
And take her quarterstaff and just start like thinking you're at a beach, like digging it down into the snow, and then she's just gonna wrap herself around it, and then just try to rely on like strength or dex, whatever.
Okay.
Because that's all she has.
Dope.
Am I also helping with Ada, for example? Because
depends,
he has
what are you gonna
wall of fire. It's 60 foot long.
Well.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess you could do that. Yeah.
You know.
How long does it last?
It's an action
it's
concentration
like
up
10
to a
minutes.
minute.
Oh, minute.
No, it's up to a minute. It does 5d8 fire damage, and it's a dex save to avoid that damage, and it's a foot thick, 20 feet high, and 60 foot long.
Okay. All right. So a minute of cover from the wall of fire.
Yeah. Also, it'll melt it. It's
No,
fire.
Yeah. The avalanche it's gonna be a little bit more than a minute, but that will definitely help. So what is Vey doing? You didn't think, you were like, shit, Ada's got this. Oh wait, what?
No, he doesn't really have much in way of
You're really strong.
Yeah, no, flavor-wise, he can hit a thunderous smite, I was thinking, but he's just gonna stab his sword into the ground and just kind of hunker down. Nothing too fancy.
So
Same.
You watch Koza. He just kind of latched onto the side, and he just says, "All right, brace yourselves," as the avalanche comes down. But before the avalanche gets to you, Ada smacks the side of the stone and places his hands like this and pulls them apart. And you watch from above, right on the edge of where this avalanche is coming from, fire just erupts in a wall across 60 feet, covering the entire party. For the next minute, you watch as the avalanche snow runs into the wall of fire and then just trickles of water come out the other end. But then there's this large cloud of steam that starts billowing and building up as the avalanche, the snow starts to hit the fire. You just hear this as it continues down. Eventually, the firewall ends, and I need Yursa to make an Arcana check to alleviate some more of the avalanche.
It's mine. 19.
Okay. So
Nice.
with the wall of fire, you were able to time it even better because it slowed it down, and you were able to focus and look up. And you eventually, how do you cast the spell to make it erupt and dissipate the snow?
Yeah, so I think when she was hunkering down, she had already like stabbed her staff into like the side of the mountain, and you can just see like this big ass green vine pop out of it and just
Yeah.
travel up the mountain, and then it just explodes in just
Yeah.
vines and petals.
Yeah. So the green vine goes up, and as the green vine goes up, it actually creates this crack in the wall as well.
Mm.
And as the crack erupts into this erupting earth, and as the vines pour out, the snow for another 6 seconds above you is alleviated and flies over the party's head, which means you're taking way less damage. That wall of fire and the erupting earth is fucking pretty lit. So I need everyone to make strength. You can choose athletics or acrobatics. But the DC is very low. I will tell you, the DC is 10 because of all the stuff you guys did.
Nice.
Woo.
Where's that
One of
going?
my
23?
One of my runes gives me advantage, and I almost didn't get it. Holy shit! Oh god!
Oh,
Hey, Basil, same. Hey.
Number 11 babies.
What is
Because I
auto
did have
roll?
guidance, but I passed.
Oh shit! Fuck! What the hell?
Can't be heard.
What the hell?
Hold on.
What
was
is
fair.
with the profile picture, Joe?
you just now noticed that?
It's a
You
long
don't,
story.
It's,
know-
it's evil Mickey from Kingdom.
yeah, you
Oh,
don't
no, it
you don't
That's funny.
recognize?
is.
What happened?
I don't know. Discord just crashed. I don't know. It was weird.
Okay. Okay. So
That's gonna look fun on the stream.
yeah,
all
that'll.
of you succeed as the avalanche rushes over you for the next 2 minutes. However, you all succeed and are not pushed over the edge of the mountain. You all only take 5 bludgeoning damage
Nice.
and 5 cold damage. If you're resistant to cold, that's 2. If you're immune to cold, that's 0. So
5 total, right?
5 total
No.
bludgeoning damage and 5 cold damage.
Okay.
All right.
Where did I have 5 temporary hit points from? Weird.
I don't know.
No, that might if it was from the day before, it might be gone already.
Yeah. I don't know why I would have been there.
I took 7 points of damage, but then I'm gonna use Stone's Endurance and reduce that damage by 8.
Negate it. Okay.
You
So,
owe me a hit point.
Okay, cool. Eventually, the avalanche subsides, and you all stand there, and Koza looks over and says, "Is everyone okay? Are we okay?"
I think we're doing okay. I don't want to speak for everybody.
I can't wait to not be around snow.
Oh, well, you're gonna have a long time because this whole place is snow.
Maybe
What?
if we're on more solid ground, that'll be better.
Agreed. Well, we're getting close to our the end of our first day travel, so there should be a little outcropping in the mountain itself that we can camp in for the night, and then after that, it'll be a couple more hours, and we'll get to Lady Gemcloak's castle. At least the bottom of it. You'll have to climb up the rest. Okay, well, let's go. And
Let's go.
he walks off. Eventually, for the next 4 or so hours, you walk and you walk, and eventually you come to this little divot in the mountain. It's
Oh, pretty. Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh, that's so
Nice.
spicy.
Nice.
And you guys are here.
It's getting into his bucket back. Can't see. There's a tub that he sleeps in over here. Just a black void.
Let's just do dim.
Oh.
There we go. So,
Oh.
as you all settle down for this night, is there anything you guys want to talk about? The next day, a couple hours into the next day, you will be, well, more than half of the day, you will be arriving at Lady Gemcloak's castle. So, is there anything you guys want to talk about on this night?
I think Rian would want to go on watch with Yursa tonight, but other than that, no.
So, Rian and Yursa, are you taking first watch?
Yep.
Okay.
Basil can take second, and she can be by herself, since we do not have even.
Otto's here.
That's right. Okay. Well, then whoever wants to join.
Vegak, anybody want to join Basil's watch?
I'll go with Basil.
So that
Yes.
leaves Gak
Kakanada.
and
The
Ada,
wizard boys together.
the wizard boys.
Wizard.
Okay.
Cute.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about before you settle down for your watches as a group?
Nope.
I can't think of anything.
Did you say you wanted to talk to Vey? I can't remember.
I thought you said at the end of last session you wanted to talk to me. Rian? Be wrong.
Yes. No, I did.
Does not remember.
Wait, did
Brain blast?
did I take a note? I didn't take a note. Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
My brain
If
is
you think about it, we can retroactively go
yeah,
back.
my brain is doo doo. I need to think now. Oh no.
Okay. So, before we start watches, is it okay if we take a short break? A couple minutes?
Yes.
Just restroom break? I gotta
Yes,
go move the baby over.
Yes.
I want granola.
All right.
Well, then get
Going
it.
on break. See you after break, people.
Break. We're back.
Hey, welcome back to Evrand. We're gonna just jump right into it. The party is on the road to Lady Gemcloak's castle. They've settled down for the night with their guide Koza, the polar bear folk. As they settle down, you guys get a small fire around you. We start with the first watch, Rian and Yursa. No perception checks needed. You're on top of a fucking mountain. There's like all that's
Yeah, but
there
I
is a drop off, so you're good. So your watch begins.
No sneaking up on us. All right. So, I think that like as their watch is starting, just like sitting next to the campfire, I think Rian would just kind of look over towards Yrsa and say, Do you remember that day when you were getting ready to leave Lunaria? The day when you came to the stables and saw me and Hikari? How nervous I was.
I also remember this.
I just, I've been thinking a lot lately about what would have happened if you and I never would have met.
And with all that deep thinking, what do you think would happen?
I was just, there was so much weight I was carrying with me everywhere I went. And you helped me. You helped me manage all of it, and you helped me remove a lot of it. So much of that baggage. And I wanted to say thank you for that. I know I've said thank you before, but after everything all of us have been through, I've been thinking about it more, and I'm just very grateful for you, Yrsa. That's all.
I think, Rian, you have thanked me at least 100 times.
And I will probably do so 100 more.
And I will always accept it. You don't have to continue to thank me. What you can do is just live. If you carry no more baggage, well, not as much, then just live. Enjoy these happy moments. Maybe not these moments, but enjoy the small things. And don't beat yourself up for enjoying them. Don't feel guilty for living your life. With everything that has happened lately, I also have been thinking a lot about leaving and seeing how the relationship with Celia and Gabriel. I've been thinking about Willow a lot lately. But it brings comfort to me to know that I feel as though I am much stronger now than I was the day that I left. And I have you to thank for that. I have all of our new friends to thank for that. And these last few days, they were rough. We weren't the strongest plants. Our roots were a little weak. The soil was a little tough. However, we're still growing. We're still finding our nourishment. And some days there's just a little too much rain or a little too much sun, but we're doing okay.
We are. And every time you bring up this extended metaphor, it just gets better every time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it's very important words to live by.
Yes. To be a plant, to not get too much water, to not get too much sun,
Nourishment.
to get enough nourishment. All very important things.
Smile. Stop being in your head so much.
I am smiling right
Stop
now.
being in your head so much.
That might be too
I
much to
know.
ask.
I know with everything between you and Gak that you have discovered, it's a lot. It is heavy. But remember, now you have people to help you carry that baggage. You can share that. You can water each other and nourish each other.
You're right.
I know.
Hmm. And humble too. That's good.
Most people tell me that.
And you can see as he kind of looks up to you, he's you can tell that he's gonna say thank you one more time, but he doesn't. And he just
That's
kinda-
okay. She just like narrows her eyes at
Yeah.
him, like,
Lovely weather we're having, right?
I miss the dirt and the grass and worms and more grass.
Well, soon
Snow
enough.
is beautiful. It's nice. It's so pretty to look at. I just really miss dirt.
Yeah. Honestly, it didn't bother me at first, but I'm gonna be pretty excited when I don't have to wear this cloak anymore.
And she just kind of like enjoys company.
Mm-hmm.
With that, your watch comes to a close, and no need to move. You can just tap the people next to you because you're all huddled up together. You kind of like you're all kind of sleeping up against the wall at this point. You can't lay down. Basil and Vey are woken up for the next night's watch. Again, no perception check needed. Your watch begins.
I want to know what's over that cliff, though. What if I want to know what's over that cliff, Jonathan?
Do you have dark vision?
We both
I'm-
do.
I'm a tiefling.
Hella
Yeah.
good.
So
dark
if
vision.
you want to look over the cliff 60 feet, you'll see
Okay.
more cliff.
Okay. All right. I was just giving you a hard time. What I see, you fucking hate me.
Come at me, bro. I'll pull up the fucking rules.
Oh my god. I would like to Misty step 60 feet down so I can see another 60 feet.
You see the ground fastly approaching.
Okay, that's really fair. That's fair.
Your watch begins.
How much do you want to bet that while Rian and Yersa were on watch together, that Rian was doing something super flirty and super cute without even realizing it? And how much do you want to bet that Yersa had no idea?
They just kind of huffs out a laugh and he's like, I mean, I like keeping my money, so I'm not going to bet against that in any way. So
It's
probably
It's cute but sad.
I agree. I think it would be so much less tension filled and there would be a lot less of the married couple bickering if they just
Oh.
accepted that they liked each other.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, they could actually be a married couple if they
And-
let it happen.
No, for sure. And I do love watching Yersa be mean to him. There's a very nice quality of her just absolutely ruining Rian's life for a few minutes.
I do appreciate that because whenever we try to do it, he just gets upset.
Yeah, he gets grumpy, you know?
Mm,
He just kind of does the and walks out. It's
Well, that's what I was talking about this morning. He gave this look when Gak was like, "Hey, I can go make breakfast," and Rian was like, "Mm-hmm." And so I said, "Why did you make that face? Are you okay?" And he's like, "This is just my face." And I was like, "No, yes, it is, kind of, but like, excuse me."
Well, I think if he smiles too much, his face will crack, and he's trying to preserve the fact that, he's stoic and
That's
a
probably
leader.
it. But if you think about it, he's one of the softest ones here.
Oh,
For
incredibly
sure.
so. Yes,
So it is, I wouldn't say a front necessarily, but, it's like he's trying to compensate. Maybe.
I would take a bet on whether or not he cries at night when we're all out of the room. I think he does.
I am one to cry whenever I want to. There is no problem with crying. I think it is perfectly good. However, I feel like Rian he does deserve a good cry. He could use a good cry.
No, absolutely. I'm not judging him for it. I just think sometimes he'll be like, "Yes, Vey," and then turn and just, it's, I just feel like there's a lot of stored emotion in his chest. I'm really worried he's going to be dead of a heart attack or anything else killed.
Honestly, I mean, he hasn't been doing his morning routine in a while now, so his body's probably just not used to activity.
His joints are starting to give out, I can already tell. He's trying to go up that mountain. Did you see how he was shaking?
He was shaking so much. And listen, I'm a cleric. I have healing abilities, but I don't think I could heal, old
all
age.
the emotional damage and old age that he has. It's just at a certain point, you just wear out.
You do? I mean, I wouldn't know. I've been alive for a long time, but I'm sure it's difficult.
God, I just feel like they're snickering on the edge of the fire, like total gossips. Yeah, Vey is like, we should have done this more often.
Rian, what's your passive perception?
We?
21.
Yeah, you fucking hear most all of this.
He's sleeping. What if he's sleeping though?
He has a passive perception of 21, and all of you are huddled together, like right next to each other.
Just keep talking.
Okay. Just go with that what you will. Rian hears all of it.
Cool.
Yeah, no. Vey said this shit to his face. He's not afraid. He's literally said this to Rian's face multiple times. Vey is the specific kind of bitch who will say it to your face and behind your back.
That's okay.
As the roast of Rian subsides, you are left with a very awkward moment of pause.
Several seconds after you finish talking. There's no movement. There's no stirring. All you hear is, "Are you finished?"
Oh, we can keep going if you
No,
like
no.
to listen.
Think about his heart. Think about his heart, truly.
Oh my God.
He needs his rest, his circadian rhythm. It's just easier to go out when you hit a certain age.
Rian,
that
if you
you
want
have-
to make it to Lady Gemcloak tomorrow, you must rest, please.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the same expression you had this morning. I don't understand. And this morning, we literally did nothing to warrant it. Just saying.
I think our existence warrants it, but I think it's also a combination of him just being grumpy.
I thought you were the grumpy one, Vey, but it looks like you guys have switched positions.
You hear, I'm going to be the grumpy one if you want to shut up.
Go to sleep, Ada.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to sleep.
Vey is gonna turn. He's like, with all that fancy magic, and you can't do something that makes you not hear things. Really?
I can do something that'll make you blind.
Listen,
I
you
can do
weren't
something that will throw
complaining.
you off the cliff.
You weren't
I can fly.
complaining when Rian and Yersa were talking. Why is it you complain when we're talking? You're not even a part of the conversation.
To be fair,
was
the two
4
of
hours
you
ago.
are also talking significantly louder.
Also,
wouldn't-
it was 4 hours ago.
Good morning.
Oh my god.
Gak, sorry. Go back to sleep.
Oh, everyone's yelling, and that's normally what we do every morning. So
You hear from around the corner, just like kind of leans over. Is everyone okay?
We're great. We're just
We-
talking about the short lifespan of humans and their existential crises that happen nightly due to the fact that, you know what, I'm not going to go into this. It's okay.
And
it's
that they
okay.
desperately need to move forward with all of the things they want to do because they do run out of time, so they need to embrace the ones that they love sooner rather than later.
Right, and so like if they have an extended long
back to sleep.
relationship that has been growing over a span of time, you know, it should come to fruition, hit, you know, like basically death's door, which is like 70, right?
I think
Damn
that right now you are quickly moving into a territory that you do not want to be. And I'm being very serious right now. I appreciate what you're trying to say, but I want both of you to know that it's not that easy. I'm going to bed. Good night.
You both look at Ada and you see.
God.
Was
Anna,
Marissa awake? She didn't say
shut
anything.
Up, you stupid blind newt of a man. Seriously, just turn around, go to bed. Ugh. Ugh. And then he'll turn to
I
Basil.
thought traveling with you would be fun. It's
Oh.
not.
It's not, is it? And he's gonna turn into Basil and lean in and whisper, he did that to me before too. It's not you. I think it's me. Or maybe it's just us in general. Maybe I've passed the curse on to you.
For Rian?
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's just super touchy about emotional stuff. That's okay, not everybody.
Can still hear you.
We're whispering now, Rian.
You're 2.5 feet away from me. I can
I
hear
didn't yell
I
at
can
you
hear
when you
a
and
bird
Yessa-
in that tree 20 feet
How is
to
this
the
our
west of
problem?
us.
How is this our problem?
You and
You're
Yosa
the
were
one
whispering,
eavesdropping.
and I not
Everyone.
once did I.
Yours-
It's time for everyone to go about their business. Rian is going to sleep, and everyone else is going to continue their watches very quietly. Good night, everyone. You need your nourishment for the night. So get it.
Remember,
I like.
we're all flowers. We're all plants.
I'm a bird.
It's a weird analogy.
Probably a piece of ice.
With that. Amazing. With that, no need to wake up the next people for their watch because they're already awake. As Ada, his eyes are closed, and you tap on his shoulder, and he goes, "No, really? It's been
Wake
30
up.
minutes.
Oh, well, here, we thought that you wanted to get involved in the conversation, so now
I
you
will
can.
vortex warp you off of this mountain. I swear.
I'll tell Dad.
I'll tell Dad.
Oh, you think he's going to take your side?
Gak, are you ready
No, I
for
think
our
he just
night's
said
watch?
he was gonna tell Dad that you vortex warped him that he vortex warped you, and I don't think that he's saying that.
Even better, I'll tell Mom.
You wouldn't.
I would.
It's getting too real.
I love them.
Gak and Ada start their watch. Ada is furious as the watch starts, and they start. Everyone starts to sleep again, and Ada's just like crosses arms. It's like, you wouldn't tell me all.
Hey, Ada.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I'm gonna send a message to my mom and also to Gideon, but after that, I'm pretty much good to go, and I'm not feeling tired at all. So
Oh,
Feel
I'm
free to-
so glad.
feel free to like doze off if you need to. You don't have to like go back to sleep, but if you accidentally fall asleep, that's okay.
Very well. Thank you. He leans up against. Okay, so you're casting sending.
Yeah, and then Gak is probably going to get up and walk a little bit away just so Rianne doesn't yell at him for whispering.
Okay. Okay. So what is the first message and who are you sending it to?
Yeah, I'm going to cast Sending to Gideon. And
Okay.
I'm going to say,
Hey Gideon, it's Gak. I hope you're better. We fell down a giant hole, fought a giant worm, and found more vampires. We're okay though.
You get a response. Hi Gak. It's really early, but it's good to hear your voice. Is everyone safe? How close are you to Lady Gemcloak? Got two words left. The last two letters are whoops, 25. As he realizes he asks questions and then realizes it's 25 words.
good. Gak sits for a second and he goes,
Now I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Okay.
now he's going to send a message to his mom.
Okay.
And he's going to say,
Hey Mom, it's Gak. Super chill day. Woke up, ate breakfast, rescued a baby from a bird. I'm with friends and I promise I'm okay.
Rescued a baby from a bird. Okay.
he was going to tell her about the worm, and then he decided not to because it would freak her out.
Thank the gods. I've been waiting for you to call me back. Good job saving that baby. Glad everyone is okay. I love you. Bye.
Good. Good.
She understood sending more than Gideon did.
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
Ryan.
That's so funny. And then I think Gak will probably sit there and he'll go,
Well, I can do one more. My mom didn't seem to need a second response. I'll reply to Gideon.
and then he's going to cast Sending again. And they're going to go,
Hey Gideon, it's Gak. Yep. We're good. No problems. Real close to Lady Gemcloak. Gonna be there in a day or two. Yep. 25 words.
Sorry, I forgot how this works. Good to hear everyone is okay. Good to hear you're close to Lady Gemcloak. Keep me updated. Everything on my end is going well.
Nice.
man, I can't wait for every night. I'm going to message 3 people. So John has to come up with 25 words. No. But yeah, cool. That's all. That is all Gak wanted to do. So he'll just kind of shuffle back to the place and sit next to Ada.
Okay. Eventually, morning comes as all of you can hit the long rest button. It took a little bit of damage.
Yeah, get
your
those
spell
10
slots
points back.
Yeah,
Long
yeah.
rest. Boom.
I can cast 3 more sendings now.
Koza looks to all of you and says, good morning, everyone. It seems like you had a pretty busy night. Is everyone well rested and ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Absolutely. We are
Okay.
ready to be nourished today.
Oh, all right. Well, follow me. And you all start walking once again. I will say this. You're going to reach the tower, or not the tower, the castle of Lady Gemcloak within the next 7 hours. Is there anything any of you would like to do before you get there?
Basil wants to go up to Rian and pull him aside while we walk.
Also, it's Elysius the Ninth.
Elias
Elias the Ninth.
Elias the Ninth.
Elias.
Also, Gak would probably just tell everyone that he talked to Gideon this morning and that he's good.
Good.
Where was Rian in the group? Is he like towards the front or the back?
I would say that he would probably be in that moment talking to Kova. Not Kova. Koza? Koza, yeah.
Koza.
Yeah, it's Koza.
It
now.
was
Okay.
Kova, and then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
realized I fucked up.
Nah, you're good. Next to Koza, talking to him about traversing Arctic climates. But as you approach, you could see that Rian was also, in fact, going to look for Basil. So when you when he turned around and saw you, he would excuse himself from his conversation with Koza and say, "Hello, Basil."
Hi, Rian. I wanted to first and foremost apologize if Vey and I hurt your feelings. I can't speak for Vey, but at least speaking for myself, I do apologize, and I hope you know that it was just stupid banter. We don't, I promise you, we honest to God don't think that way about you.
I know. And he'll kind of raise up his hand, not like in like a stop it, but like in a like, okay, it's okay. And say, for one, I'm glad you didn't apologize for Vey, because Vey wouldn't have apologized. So
No.
that was, you hit the nail on the head there. As much as I love him, sorry is a rare occurrence with Vey, and that's all right. But I do appreciate it, and I'll tell you the same thing I told Vey. It's just hard to think about moving on. Sometimes from my past life, I feel like I have like hooks in me, or like I have something stuck in my heart.
Do you feel as if you would be betraying your family if you decided to move on?
And you can see that he's going to push through the conversation he's having with you, but you can tell that he's very uncomfortable. Not with you.
You don't have.
Yeah, but
right.
No. I need to, and I think you more than anyone else here. You know the most. I think aside from your sub. I mean, after all, you saw Isaac.
It's a very beautiful boy, Rian.
Exactly. I still care about them. I still love them so much. But in all honesty, up until I saw what you saw, I had forgotten what they looked like. I couldn't remember. And to this day, I don't remember what Aida looked like. But I remember what I felt. I remember the man I was before that day. And so anytime I think about moving on, anytime I think about changing anything, instead of seeing the remains of Aida or Isaac, I see her, or I see all of you. I think that if I change, or I try to replace, then it's inevitable. That pain will just come again. And there's nothing I can do to stop it other than not doing it. Staying stationary. That's why I try to appear to be so stoic. Because if I don't allow myself to feel anything, then I can't get hurt. But obviously that doesn't work very well with this group because I love all of you way too much. So I don't hold any grudges or hard feelings. The opposite, really. All of you have helped me see that. And if we're being entirely honest with each other, Rian, today and yesterday, can take it on the chin and laugh after it's all said and done. If that was Rian 4 or 5 years ago, I think that you and Vey would have been off the side of the cliff, and I'm very glad that I'm a different man.
I am too.
But, thank you.
Of course. And since we're being honest, can I speak now?
Of course.
Rian, you're one of the best people I've ever met. And I have never met someone so stubborn and passionate and caring and genuine as you. Of course, you and Yurs are right there with each other, but it's very different with you. And it might be because I haven't had, a parental-like figure in my life for a long time, and you have that aura about you when I'm around. But at the same time, it makes me so sad to see you holding yourself back from having true happiness, having such a wonderful future in front of you with someone who loves you so much. And I say that not because you're refusing to, but I want you to know that I truly believe we have more than 1, 2, even 3 soulmates in our life. They could be as friends, they could be as lovers, they could be parents, they could be anybody. And I'm sure your wife desperately wants you to be happy. If she loves you as much as you said she did, as much as you say she did, then she would want you to live such a happy life, to embrace love where love is trying to reach you. Sorry, my bronchitis. Basil has bronchitis.
It's all right, Basil. It's cold. It's high elevation.
Cold.
High elevation.
But it's one of those things where it's not necessarily going to go away. That pain will not go away. And even if you let yourself be open to love and a future with someone else, that doesn't mean the pain will go away. It just means that there's something else there that can cushion it. You know? I can understand where you're coming from, you feel that possible, quote, betrayal for moving on. But I don't think that's what it is. Our life throws so much at us, and we have to roll with the punches. We have to deal with what we're given and try to make the best out of it, try to move forward. Because if we let our life dictate what happens in our future, then what's the point of living? I left my livelihood, I gave up my name, who I was, and I recreated my future. I have no family. I have no home now. But I'm striving towards something to look forward to. I'm striving towards creating something better for my future. Because I know I deserve it. And there's no point in me living if I'm not going to give myself my best chance. And I know Vay and I joked about it, but you have been struggling and have been holding yourself back from being happy for far too long. Your mind and your heart is aching for love, for happiness. And it won't be easy. It's not something that's going to be an immediate fix, but it's going to be a gradual ease. And I hope that you know that none of us here would ever judge you for wanting to go after that. I hope you know that your family would be so happy to know that you're happy. Do you understand?
I don't think that Rian would say anything in response. I think he would just like stop walking and turn and hug Basil.
No, she's gonna wrap him in a bear hug.
And I think that as he pulls away, he just nods and smiles. And not that Basil can see this, but Rachel can see a small little bit of text in the top corner of the screen that said Rian approved greatly of that conversation.
Oh, good.
Rian will remember this.
Yeah.
Good.
Rian will remember this, and he'll just smile, and you can feel a definite change just from the smile he gives you. And with that, he would, like I said, smile and nod, and he would go back to walking.
Yep. She doesn't want to push him or anything, and well, right before he walks away, she's just gonna say, thanks for picking up a role of a father. And she just like scampers away to someone else.
And I'll kind of sigh happily at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything? No? Okay.
Jack will probably just mention to everyone briefly.
So when we get to Lady Gemcloak, we need to tell stories.
That is correct, Gak. I've never met Lady Gemcloak, but our father has. He says that she holds herself very highly of the stories she keeps. She doesn't deal in treasures and hoards as other dragons do. Apparently, she's not even from this plane of existence. She hoards stories. She thinks of herself. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what kind of stories that she tells?
She doesn't tell many stories from what I've heard. She just collects them.
Interesting.
Yes. So, I believe we're getting close. If everyone wants to think of a story that they're going to tell her, I believe she deals in stories for questions. So be prepared for that. Also, I have heard from my father that she does not appreciate bad stories. They must be formatted properly or told properly, beginning, middle, end kind of thing, I think. Something to add to her collection, I believe.
What would she suggest a bad like, you know, something that is like not important to us, or something
I
that
think it's
doesn't teach a lesson?
I think it's any story you want to tell as long as it sounds good.
Do you think that she'd be upset if, like, somebody, like, forgot part of a story while they were telling it and then, like, had to remember it?
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe start
she knows,
rehearsing
like,
your
their
stories before we
heart?
get there.
Yeah, I gotta think of something.
Well, sometimes it's not always about story. It could be about the way you tell it. And Dak, I'm sure you can tell a wonderful story. You can be exciting and fun and engaging. That's just as important as the story itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna ask her questions, we want to ask about, the goo and the planes and the maybe vampires.
I think that'd be a good idea. I mean, if we're all sharing, I was planning on asking her maybe if there's a way to close rifts without having to kill either side. I know we've briefly talked about it before. If there is a warden for each side, then one of the only ways to permanently close it is, I suppose not kill is the right phrase, but sever the connection between those two sides and the warden. But if there's a way that we can do it without having to hurt anyone and permanently close it, that would be my question.
That is a good question. I would say that as long, and I believe, like I said, she deals in a story for a question. So there is 6 of us here. If we tell good enough stories, we should get 6 questions.
Okay, so do we want to, quote, call dibs on what questions so that no one is taken back by thinking that they were going to get that question and then... Does that make sense?
I was wondering if we should, like, choose, like, 3 of the questions that we think are the most important. So if, like, one of us tells a story and she doesn't like it and we don't get a question, then the next person can make sure that that person's question is asked. Because if it's like let's say someone has, like, the most important question, which might be about, like, closing the rift without hurting people, and then, like, the person who was going to ask that doesn't get a question, then we don't need to, like, ask about Gemcloak's favorite color or something, you know.
I would just like to say, if we have the space, I'd like to be a little selfish. And I'd like to ask about how to save my people and how to bring Farah Missoula back from the abyss.
You are more than welcome. I was going to ask about my garden. That's why I came here.
You mean Ventus Ferrum?
Ventus Ferrum. Shit, Farah Missoula is the fucking Elden Ring
Elden
one.
Ring.
No!
That's
Same
really
thing.
funny.
Same thing.
Good.
Well,
Except not
I
surrounded by dragons.
don't think either of those two things are selfish by any means. I think they're incredibly important.
I have my own question as well. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for where the artifact is that was stolen from us, so that will be my question.
I can be a swing. I'll think of a question. I don't have one right now, but I'll think of one, and then if for some reason one of you guys can't ask one of your questions, I can try to ask it for you if that doesn't work.
Vey, do you have an idea of what you want your question to be?
Well, I was just kind of along for support. I could ask about, I guess the safest way to conduct ourselves when we're traveling the plains or in the abyss or so and such, since that's a very viable thing that we may have to encounter.
Gak, you can ask about the vampires. How we could best go about that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So now we just have to hope that Lady Gemcloak likes all of our stories.
Sorry to, well, be the bearer of bad news as you're all talking. We're here. And
Oh no.
you all
The
stop.
bearer of bad
A
news.
bear of bad news. Bad news
You all
bears.
stop as, I almost said it again. It is starting to get dark outside at this point. You stand beneath a large crystal plateau. There are these crystals that are jutting out of the stone itself, creating this almost fortress wall around a very faint glimpse of the top of a crystal castle in the center. As Kozo looks to all of you and says, well, all you have to do is head up this way. Make sure you use your climbing gear. It'll be a lot easier for you. It should take you about 45 minutes for climbing, get up there. So, take a quick rest before you, and maybe stretch a little bit before you start up there, because it's going to be a lot. It was a pleasure guiding you through the mountains, and I hope that you find everything you're looking for. Good luck with Lady Gemcloak. I don't think she's had visitors in quite a while, so good luck. I guess I'll see you around soon. If you come through the White Crests, you could meet my family sometime.
Yeah, we need to meet all of them in excruciating detail.
Yes,
All
thank
right,
you,
very
Koza.
well.
Very, very much. And you're just
We
gonna give him a
appreciate
hug.
it.
Oh, it's like
I
hugging
hug.
a giant pillow.
Everything
And
I
he
wanted.
he pats it, his whole paw is like from your head all the way down to your back is how big the paw is. He's like,
Aw.
oh, okay.
Aw, we stand
We do.
Koza.
You
Well-
have a wonderful and safe trip back.
All right, well, I think I'm gonna stop by Lake Whitecrest. I haven't been up here in a while. Oh, I guess I won't go fishing. I didn't bring my fishing rod.
Oh,
That's
it's
depressing.
okay.
Oh. But
Well,
you have a great day.
Have you ever
Koza,
tried
thank you.
spearfishing?
Oh yeah. I don't have my spear with me.
No.
either.
Bears are extremely good at just catching fish with their paws.
I was gonna
Don't
say,
bring,
have you ever
don't
tried
bring
just-
realism in my goddamn game.
What do you mean?
Just
How
getting
do you
it.
think bears get the fish when they're bears?
But he's
When
got
they're
two.
real bears.
He's bipedal. It's different.
It's
No,
different.
his paw structure is exactly the same.
I disagree.
I'll see you all later. I'll try to catch something. Bye. As he turns around
Bye.
and dramatically he
Oh,
walks
dee-do,
into the
dee-do.
fog of the White Crest Mountain and disappears into the distance. So,
Do-dee-do.
as you all start your ascent to Castle Gemcloak, for the next 45 minutes you climb and you climb. Eventually you get to a certain plateau where you can take a small break, and then once again you climb again, further. At this point now, you are higher than the mountain you were on previous, where you were above the clouds. You are climbing the highest peak in all of the White Crest Mountains, the highest peak in all of the continent of Ephira. As you continue further and further. You eventually get to the top. As you all kind of pull yourselves up and you look, you see surrounded by 200-foot walls of ice, adorning the highest peak in the White Crest. You see a castle that looks like it's plucked from another world. A towering structure formed of geometric crystals overlapping and forming a beautiful crystal or castle, but also somewhat a bastion or stronghold. Above this structure is something you have not seen since traversing through the White Crest: the sky. But instead of clouds, a gorgeous night sky with snaking gaseous particles forming a colorful show above. You can see the light refracting through the shapes of crystals is what actually is making this Aurora Borealis type show. And what you see is this.
No vision.
It says I don't have any token vision.
Oh, that's okay, because it makes it more dramatic.
Dramatic.
This.
Oh my god!
Oh.
So pretty.
Oh.
Good art. Who drew this?
Not me.
Okay. I was ready to shower you with
Be
compliments.
like,
No.
every time there's art, we're like, Night.
Knight,
Star."
did you do this?
Yeah, no.
You
no,
magnificent bastard, did you do this?
no.
It's Superman's Fortress of Solitude.
I literally was thinking that too.
I think
I
it
was
is.
like-
So anyways.
Lady Gemcloak and Superman.
As you
It's
reach
alien.
the top and you see this, there is a strong wind coasting through. You are several thousand feet above sea level. It is so cold up here. But in front of you is a walkway that goes straight to what looks like it kind of splits off into two doors. Not a single door, but a door on either side. What would you guys like to do?
Well, we should knock.
Is there a door?
Yes,
You-
there's two.
All right.
Mr. Passive Perception of 21 couldn't tell there were two doors.
Excuse me for trying to be immersed, Nicholas.
You see Otto's just staring and he's smiling. He's like, "Wow, this is better than what I read about. Let's go inside." And you see there's like this pep in Otto's step. He's a nerd, so he walks up and he waits for the rest of the party to get there. Should we knock?
I think so.
Absolutely.
They will just go up and knock, just as everyone's talking. Since we're
As
gonna
you go
talk
to
about
knock,
knocking.
Vay, before you knock, the door opens, and as it opens, it's like a cryogenic chamber opening with this adhering of ice breaking and then smoke pouring out as you all enter.
Yeah.
This place has opening doors too, just like the Mushrik Sun.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? What you see before you is a large, grandiose, ice and crystal throne room. There are two pathways, and each pathway has 3 columns that lead up to the sky above, to the ceiling. But as you look up to the ceiling, as you enter and kind of take in your surroundings, you see a starry night sky shifting and forming, comets firing across. Oh no, kill her! She's gone. She's back.
Your circle collapses to the ground.
Crash. That was weird. Keep going. Sorry.
This starry night sky that is kind of shifting and weaving. There are grandiose stained glass windows, 4 on each side, that lead towards the back half of this room. There's a singular, large, almost pool of water that is coasting down from this pedestal, this throne platform that leads into this large square pool structure of flat, glassy water. And as you look up further and step in, you see the pedestal that holds a beautiful ice and crystal throne. But sitting atop the throne is a short, slender woman with shoulder-length white pearlescent hair. As the hair moves and the light hits it, you can see the colors of what an oil slick would make shifting through it. Atop her head is a gold-banded crown with purple gems that reach northward out of the band itself. Her skin is dark, but emits this light as you can see constellations and stars moving across her skin. You almost make out comets as they fly by, and as you peer into the eyes across the throne room, you see bright yellow irises and pupils that almost look like two suns. And you see...
Oh my god, are we gonna see what she looks like?
Yes.
Knight, did you draw this, you magnificent bastard?
No, I
No.
did.
Oh my
Yay.
goodness, look at that. Oh no.
As you hear...
That's so amazing.
As you hear...
Welcome. You must be the Seekers of Insania. I've been expecting you. Please, come forward.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
And I
she's
will
pretty.
take you to the throne room.
Mm. Ooh. Woo.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why is this a battle map?
It's just for aesthetics. You're not going to fight anything. Promise. You guys would be down
Yes.
here if you want to place your tokens.
Unpause.
Uh,
How do I?
you guys are small.
Itty bitty.
Oh, I fucked up. Hold on. Let me configure. 1 second.
Okay.
So pretty. She's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to be her when I grow up.
Yeah. Maybe Vey will convert to equal opportunity.
There we go. Now the squares are the
time.
correct size.
Oh, okay. All right. Makes more sense.
This is a much more
I was like,
modest
"Where,
throne
baby?"
room, yeah.
Sorry, just
I like our positioning right now, our formation.
So if we just walked in though, this is the door, we'd be like,
Doors.
This is the water that leads across, so you can't cross.
never mind.
There's 2 doors.
Yeah, door here, door here.
Ah,
Nice.
I think we went
Can't
into
cross
the
here.
right door.
You've come here on a very long travel. Tell me, what is it that you seek?
Answers to very important questions.
Hazel's bronchitis acting
I
up.
know. You're such a
Goes in the
spatzer.
throne room.
Can we come closer, or should we stay at the other end of the room?
You may come closer, yes.
Gak just kind of looks around and takes a step and
all the way up there.
But I think
That's water, correct?
Yeah,
Rian
that's-
just went into the
this
water.
Is,
Yeah.
This is water.
Y'all are standing in water.
Rian.
But not the middle part. Is it the middle
The
part?
middle-
Looks
the-
like
the
it could
giant
be glass.
The giant square is water that is still like glass. This is all water right here. That whole square.
Well, that is really. Who designed? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Rian will go on this side with Basil, so she's not alone.
So you guys walk across the water.
we.
Okay.
walked around.
All right.
Yourso
Uh,
would just
you guys
speak
will
up
be over
and
here.
say, like my friend Basil said, That's exactly why we came here. We've traveled a very long way for a very long time, and we bring very heavy questions that we feel only you would have the answers to.
You see her listening to everything you're saying, and as you're kind of looking at her, and her skin is just shifting, this sea of stars. Everything about her is like alien. Like, this is her best impersonation of a human. And the way she carries herself is like almost like flowy and different than you would think of someone who sits upon a throne. But she looks to all of you and says,
Very well. What questions do you have? I hope that you have payment for these questions. Stories, perhaps, from me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
At first I was like, what? But yeah, no. Yeah.
You are a very funny one, Gap.
Thank you.
I know about all of you. I have foreseen you coming to my castle. I hope the journey was not too treacherous.
I think we made it for the most part.
you hear Ada, who kind of bows and says, "No, not at all, Lady Gemcloak."
Gak looks around and then bows as well.
You're just gonna like do a little curtsy.
Mm-hmm.
I think regardless of what we went through, it is worth it. We are facing a multiple, I don't want to say the word catastrophes, but multiple very bad things. And all that we've gone through was very worth this moment. Even if you don't have all the answers, I think being in the presence of someone such as yourself is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, regardless. But yes, I believe everyone here has something to offer.
Very well. Let's start with you then. Tell me a story.
Alright, Ursa will kind of like step forward a little bit. I am going to tell you a story passed down from many, many generations of the Eladrin people, specifically that of Lunaria. But a story
Okay.
that... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, as you start talking, as you all look up, you can see her words being written in the stars themselves and then disappearing as she starts talking, as it is transcribing the story into her sea of stories. Continue.
Specifically of Lunaria, but this is a story that I hold very dear to my heart. I'm gonna tell you the story of springtime. So long ago, before the age of Arcanum, when the gods and the primordials were still fighting for the lands, the days and the nights went on without much order. There was no beginning or end to the seasons. Everything was all at once, all of the time. So chaos amongst the different gods and the primordial beings, they all longed for power, and that battle happened within all of this feral nature. And amidst this chaos, however, there was beauty to be found. There was once a young woman with beautiful almond skin and the hair the color of pure sunshine. And her smile shone like the moon and the stars, and wherever she walked, flowers bloomed. And not only was she beautiful on the outside, but her heart was that of gold. She would give aid to anyone in need. This woman was often thought to be the very first child of Melora, Melora the Wild Mother. Many flocked to this woman because she brought delight and joy into their lives. She was a moment of bliss in a world of constant war. But one day, she caught the eye of someone in particular. There is a man known as Asmodeus, the king of the 9 hells. A very strikingly handsome yet very wicked man. The king of lies rules over a domain of fire and despair, but when he saw her for the first time, they say that a man without a heart felt his chest tighten for the very first time. He watched her for many days, and he saw the kindness and the love, the joy and the warmth. He saw all of her beauty on the inside and out, and he wanted all of that to himself. So Asmodeus appeared before the young girl one day, claiming to be in the need of help. Of course, she obliged to help in any way she could. However, it was all a trick. It was a ruse to trap this girl and steal her away to the 9 hells for him. They say the day she was stolen from the material plane was the day it began to rain. Evrand itself wept. Melora wept. Once in the 9 hells, Asmodeus demanded this woman become his wife, to bring him all the warmth and happiness she brought to everyone above. And instead of fighting this man, how could she fight the ruler of the 9 hells? Instead of running, where could she possibly run? She saw him. She saw his loneliness. She saw his longing to feel affection. She saw the pain inside this man who never knew what love was. He never knew anything other than pain and hate. She saw his suffering. Though he was a serpent, there was still emptiness within him. So she agreed. Evrand continued to weep, and one day so did she. She did her best to bring Asmodeus joy, and she surely did. A man who never knew a genuine smile wore one every day, but she wept. She missed the sun. She craved the grass. She craved the dirt. She longed for the birds in the sky, the flowers in the trees, and Asmodeus saw his flower beginning to wilt, and it angered him. He did not understand why she could not be happy there. And he couldn't stand to see her cry, so he made a deal. Once per year, for 3 months, she could return to the material plane and do whatever she wished. But for the remaining amount of time, she would call the 9 hells her home. And she agreed. The day she returned, Evrand began life anew. The ground was fresh, new seeds took root, flowers began to bloom, the wind greeted her face with love, and the sun kissed rays down. And once per year, Evrand would renew itself, and nature would begin again. They would call this springtime, the signal of her return. Then it would enter the state of renewal, and then it would thrive, and it would grow warmer and temperate. And they would call this summer. And then once the grounds realized that she had to go home, it would begin to weep again and grow cold. The leaves would fall, and they would call it autumn. Soon, Evrand's tears would freeze. It missed the warmth of her, and this dark time was called winter. No one knew what happened to her. Some say she still roams the 9 hells, counting down the days until spring can come again. We tell this story to all of the children in Lunaria to remind them what kindness can do for the world. It can quite literally bring about the change of the season. But, more importantly, how easily that kindness can be taken advantage of. We must not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. We can be sunshine, but we also must be like the great tree and root ourselves to the ground. And if one is clever, they can have kindness in one hand and conviction in the other. Keep them watching the right hand, while the left, well, this is a beautiful story, as we have seen beauty can be dangerous. So we must stand our ground and never be afraid to face even the largest of demons, even if they are the king of demons. Some think that she still wanders the 9 hells. But those who are wise, like yourself, you know that she left the first day. Those who are wise know how that came to be. But that's a story for another day. Thank you for listening. And Yrsa does like a curtsy.
She leans in and says,
Well, I hope that other day comes, because that was a brilliant story. What is your question, young Yosa?
My question is there a way, specifically how, to close the rifts without having to end the life of another?
you watch as she gets up from her throne and starts walking down these stairs. And as she walks down these stairs, you watch her form start to shift and transform, as leaving the small humanoid creature behind, you see a gargantuan, white, iridescent scaled dragon take form. Her form shifts as you see not 2, but 4 wings appear along with her 4 legs. As you get a closer glance, the scales that adorn her body look like translucent crystals, but in the shape of feathers. These feathers seem to manipulate the light around, causing a chromatic light shone around her. From the body extends a long, elegant neck, ending in a pointed but noble face. The horns, more made of glass than bone, create these symmetrical, rounded patterns of a crown above her head. The last thing you notice is one of her 4 wings. The topmost left wing seems to be missing a very large section of crystal feathers, and underneath the scales you can see that cosmic constellation. As she is no longer in her human form, but her dragon form. And you see
Oh, wow.
this. Oh, wait. This.
Oh, wow.
So good.
I still want to kiss her.
Yeah. Little bop on
As
the nose.
she lumbers forward, she takes purchase near this well, this large water mass in the center. As she looks up to the sky above, she elongates her body and picks out a star from the ceiling and places it into the water beneath. And as the water ripples, you see a vision start to form. What you see is the vision pull back and shunt across the land to a very, very small town. A town built on the top of a hill, a grassy hill. Past this town, into the trees, you see what looks like, come into focus, this small hut, miles behind this town. You don't see inside of the hut, but then the vision fades, and you see an old man with a long white beard with no hair on top, looking over papers with this large staff in front of him as he lays this gem at the top. He then heads down out of his hut and disappears and reappears in front of a large rift. A rift that is writhing in fire as he takes the staff slams it down onto the ground. And you almost watch this tether of arcane energy start to dissipate from his body. As he then walks through the rift of fire, there's another entity on the other side. For those who have heard stories of the Afriti, he stabs down the staff once again, and that tether dissipates. And you watch the rift start to shake, and almost like hands or magnets starting to collapse on themselves, the rift starts to close as he bows and teleports away. And the vision goes back to the hut. And you watch as time passes and passes. 100 or more years pass. And he never comes out of that hut. And the pool ripples once more, and the vision fades.
John, did Yursa kind of like recognize the town that it sits behind?
Make a history check. All of you can make a history check.
Ooh. Huh?
21.
So I know that, like,
Oh, Basil.
oh, Basil got a natural 20. History, I know that, like, Gak wouldn't know where this is, but is there something I could roll to see if Gak connects this with a story we heard? Would that also be history?
Roll a
Didn't
wisdom
Vay's dad
check.
tell us kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what yours says, kind of like connecting the dots too.
Also, John, according to the 1D&D rules, that was an auto success from Basil.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm only doing that because he did it during Salamander
I know,
Coast.
I
I
know.
want to stress.
No. I deserve that. So, I mean, Basil would know, but Basil immediately figures out and connects with it. It is the town of Hillgrove. What was your wisdom check, Gak?
Oh no, my mouse just died. Oh no, wait a second. Okay, wisdom check. Gosh dang it, I'm so sorry.
Nick, do you want to come get mine?
No, it's on now. It's where, oh well, 7, so. Nope.
It's you're just taking in all of the atmosphere right now, and like the fact that there's a dragon in front of you. It's hard to recall that story, but it is a story you have been told before. You don't know that much. But Lady Gemcloak looks to Yursa and says,
Because your story was so well, I will allow you to ask one other simple question.
Oh, okay, but I wasn't prepared for this. Hold on a second, pause. Okay, I'm choking.
Oh no, Yursa has bronchitis.
Ah! It's spreading. Oh, fuck. Okay, sorry, John. I wasn't prepared for 2. Should I ask, like, what was the other things that we were trying to figure out?
no. One was what's going on with the rifts.
Yeah.
She did say one more simple
Simple
question,
question.
though. So probably lesser, but still something.
You could ask, like, what's the fastest way to get to Limgrove? Or is, like, there a fast travel way?
You could also, since
Like
she
a
seems
zoom
very
away?
powerful, you could also, because you brought up, oh fuck, Willow?
Mm-hmm.
Since you brought it, you could just ask how she's doing. I mean, if that's a simple
yeah.
question, you know, I just don't know how simple is.
Right.
You can't fast travel somewhere unless you've been there before. So
Oh shit.
Okay. Sorry if this is a waste, guys. Yours would want to know, though.
No.
Is it possible for me to close a rift that's not my own?
Yes. That is what you saw in that vision I just showed you.
Okay, Yursa was thinking it had to be like the same people. You know what I'm saying? Like from both
Like the
sides.
Rift
Okay.
Warden.
Yeah, that's what she was thinking. Okay. Can I take my question back? That was clarifying.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I don't have a better question. Struggle.
I will say she will, if you want, she can elaborate on the vision you saw.
Yes, elaborate.
Okay.
I mean, I think I got it, but like she might say something that might be a little, yeah.
The old, wise wizard known as Illidan Domain, the Rift Warden, the Fire Plane, has spent the last 100 or so years creating an artifact that will remove the tether to the rifts.
She does have a question, actually. Does anyone else know about the artifact?
She looks up to the stars above.
No,
That is good. Thank you. That is good to know. That is something we don't want falling into the wrong hands.
She bows and then looks over at Ada. And Ada says, Lady Gemcloak, it is an honor to be in your presence. My father, Shen, sent me with something for you, if I could approach. She nods as Ada kind of releases what looks like a note that has been sealed with the Silver Child crest as he hands it over. And he says, I do have a question, if possible. Also, Knight, you said you don't feel good. Do you want to leave? Do you want to dip? You're muted.
It's fine. I was gonna just say, kind of do my stuff, and then I'll hop off. You know, I'm just going downhill fast, so
Okay.
I can stick around for this part at least.
Okay. Do you want to just forego the story and ask a question since you don't feel good?
Well, yeah. I can just drop the story in the general chat, so
Okay.
I'm not cheating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, his question was just going to be about how to kind of traverse the plane safely and like what they could do for that. So, yeah. Sorry, I am not feeling great right now.
It's okay.
No, you don't need to stay.
Yeah, as you ask that
Bronchitis.
question, it's bronchitis. She grabs the paper from Ada and Vade tells his story, and she says,
I believe I have a friend that could assist with your lack of transportation. It seems that a favor is being turned in. I have an individual known as Uridin, a fellow dragon. He resides elsewhere, but should you wish, I could transport you there after he has an item that could be of use to you all.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Vay would, say his thanks and do like kind of like a little bow thing. I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna hop off and
it's okay.
Yeah, go get safe.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys
Feel
later.
better.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, nice.
You have to wait a minute for the overlay.
No, we're good. We're good. Rachel and Kayla aren't visible right now, but it's something I can fix pretty easy.
Okay. So, Ada then bows and says, I do have a question if you would allow me to tell my story. And she bows. And Ada steps up and says, oh, where's my paper? Long ago, during what we know as the Calamity, the Betrayer gods broke from their prisons and laid waste to the land. But not only the Betrayer gods, but the lords and queens of the negative planes as well. One such queen by the name of Auril, or the Frost Maiden, wished to turn a land into an infinite winter. During the battle, when the prime deities descended, Auril found her allies outmatched and began being picked off one by the prime lords. She decided to take things into her own hands and create her own army. She placed an essence of herself and wove it into sentient beings as tall as giants with blue skin that resembled her children. She then told her children to take up arms and help her fight, help her destroy the prime deities and their mortal creations. To which her children obliged. They started to roam the land, and city by city, destroy and sunder everything in their path. But her children grew sad. They grew remorseful. They thought to themselves, why are we doing this? What is the purpose killing these mortals? Could we not live in peace and harmony? So her children eventually laid down their weapons. They told Auril they would no longer fight her war because it was not right. Auril was very angry and told them, you have no choice. You are mine, and you are to do as you are told. And our children refused. They fled from Auril, some of them dying at her hands, but a large group of them got away. Over the next month, Auril was eventually found and cornered by Cord, the god of war and storms. Cord struck her down and sealed her back into her plane. Eventually, the calamity ended and the children of the Frost Maiden remained. Over time, they eventually made their way to the Whitecrest Mountains and lived their lives, creating a bustling community and society. The magic diminished as well as the size, but they continued to uphold the sanctity of immortality and reject the mindset of their creator. They, who we call the Vanda, still live on.
That was a good story. What is your question?
And Ada speaks and says, an artifact was taken from our home, meant to keep the rift we guard stable. I would wish to know where that artifact is. And once again, she looks to the stars and pulls one out and places it into the pool. And as the water ripples, and I'm sorry that I'm talking to myself right now, but as the water ripples, a story comes into focus. You follow behind a hooded figure walking through a frozen wasteland. Eventually, the figure walks into a beautiful riverside city of stone and ice, a city of Sangsa. The figure seems to stay to the shadows, making no eye contact with anyone, and eventually walks up to a familiar set of stairs to a familiar castle. The vision cuts away as you see this figure now stands in a large chamber with a small rift on the other side. Beside the rift are two items placed on small pedestals. One is an ornate lantern, and the other a beautifully crafted vase. The figure approaches and lifts their hand, casting some sort of magic which seems to display any protection around the first item, the lantern. The individual reaches out and grabs the lantern and pulls with all their strength as they remove it from the rift. You can see a magical tether start to tear and break as the lantern is pulled away. The rift itself seems to grow a little in size and become a bit more unstable. With a darted look behind, the figure looks out to multiple individuals descending from the stairs behind. One in particular is Shen. As Shen readies a spell, the hooded figure grabs a hold of something behind the cloak and disappears from the chamber. We jump forward in time as we see the hooded figure once again, this time inside of what looks like a tavern room. There's an orb on the ground, and as they use both hands to channel the magic within, it does not seem like this is the first time they've used this magic. The vision the figure sees is Shen sitting and talking with Vei. There's no sound, but you can see the figure's body language of intrigue as they listen in. We jump forward even more. The hooded figure is now surrounded by what looks like 12 individuals. They all wear similar clothes and bear the symbol of a blue diamond with a shaped snowflake that you have all seen before. They all wear... the hooded figure then commands these people as they leave. You see the hooded figure place his hand on the ground and frost starts to emit from beneath. You watch a humanoid elemental of ice form. The figure commands once again, and the elemental leaves. The vision then fades as we see the hooded figure and many disciples surrounded in an Arctic tundra wasteland. They ascend a snow-covered stone stairs, and the vision starts to fade, but you see it as they ascend towards a tower with a skull of crowned spikes made of ice sits atop. And you see... what do you see? Where is it at? Oh no, I didn't put it in here. Okay, I'll just find it now. I missed the part of my prep. You see... I can't find it. This is bullshit. Nope. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna
You're
post it
doing
in
great,
art.
John.
You see this? It's going in art, and I'll post it in here if I can.
Ooh.
Oh.
Good.
Castle Grayskull.
Ada eventually bows and says, "Thank you, Lady Gemcloak." She looks upon the party. It looks to Rian.
Would you indulge me in a story, Rian?
It would be my great honor to do so. And you can see him kind of inhale and exhale and step forward. Once there was a man who was punished by the gods for the actions of his family. His punishment was to roll a massive boulder up a hill. If the boulder ever reached the top of the hill, he would be allowed to return to his life. He would never get his family back, but he could be free of that eternal torment. Day after day, month after month, year after year, this man pushed that boulder up that hill, and he never reached the top. So many times he tried to quit, to end it all, but the gods, in their infinite cruelty, seemingly made it impossible for him to die, no matter what he did. He slowly started to realize his fate. He was punished for all eternity. For the rest of time, he had to carry that weight and push that boulder up that hill, only for him to fail with every attempt. What felt like a millennia passed, and he continued to push, and he continued to fail. But all of that changed on the day he met. And you see him pause for a moment. A bear. This wise bear spoke with him and let him speak. That bear let him be heard. For once he didn't wallow in despair. For once he was finally able to feel joy. Feel the grass beneath his feet and the wind on his face. That bear gave him wisdom. He didn't need to carry the full weight of that boulder up the hill. That would be impossible for anyone, no matter how strong they were. The bear told him he needed to break the boulder down piece by piece, carry each piece up the top of the hill. It may take longer, but it was the only way that he could be free from that curse. And so, the man did as the bear said. He moved the boulder piece by piece, until eventually the sun set on the last day of his torment. He placed the final rock and felt relief. The curse had been lifted, and the man was free to move on. He was finally able to enjoy the small things, just as the bear told him. And so the man and the bear left that weathered hill behind. And you see him pause for a moment again, and what was joy on his face slowly begins to fade as he says, "But the gods, ever scornful, didn't want to release him, fully at least. And they put a small piece of that boulder in his heart. A pain that would haunt him forever, that he could never forget. It was said that the man found happiness in his travels, but the gods, in their cruelty, would never let him forget. But the pain didn't need to go away for him to still find love and joy in his life. That tragedy would not hold him back. And Rienne looks to Basil and then looks back to Lady Gemcloak and says, he would not let his past dictate his future. And he'll bow his head.
What a beautiful story. What is your question, Rienne?
And you can see that maybe in a different time with different conversations, he would have asked a different question, but there's no sadness on his face, no grief that he's carrying with him right now. There's confidence and happiness as he says, one of my problems has been solved. And I don't think it would have happened if we never would have gone on this quest to meet you. So, thank you very much. And my question, Lady Gemcloak, my people, the people of Ventus Ferrum, the people of Ventus Ferrum are my people. I am a man out of time. I want to know how to save them. How to bring Ventus Ferrum back to the material plane. And preserve what cultural identity I might still have in this world.
She looks to you. and looks to the sky. She looks back down.
There isn't an exact answer for your question. Not an exact story that'll bring Ventusferum back. But
And she looks up again.
there is the story of what happened and how you can stop it from happening further, if that would suffice.
That would more than suffice. Thank you.
She looks up and pulls a star, and this star looks almost more like a sun. It is massive. As she places it into the rippling water. This is a long one, so I'm going to take a little bathroom break, just real quick, and then
Okay.
give me 1 second.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna get a sody pop.
Whew. Okay,
Nick,
well,
can I take more meds?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna go to the break screen real quick and go use the bathroom myself.
Oh.
Oh, we're back.
So, as the large sun-like star is placed into the water ripples and a story comes into focus. You see a grand city resting atop a mountain as a tear in reality opens. Two long tentacle hands peer out, ripping the tear further, and you see a towering 18-foot creature emerge. Its body sinuous like that of a snake and powerful like that of a great ape. Two baleful baboon heads with blue-green scaly skin followed by an immense forked tail emerges from the tear. You see this. One head letting out a sinister laugh, and the other a terrifying roar. Following behind as the creature bashes and sunders the city around it, it is an army of twisted, bestial figures. The vision fades, and you see the creature towering over two men inside of a large chamber. One of the men places their hand on the other and teleports them elsewhere, while the other one slams the ground, activating these arcane runes. Then nothing. The vision fades once more, and you are looking at a continent covered in twisted jungles and petrified trees and rocks, surrounded by an endless ocean of brine flats. The sky is dark, purple, and crackling with lightning all around. As the vision peers past a floating city in stasis, you see glimpses of people enslaved here. Further in the distance, you see two serpentine towers topped with skull-shaped minarets whose bulk extends deep underwater into dark caverns beneath. You see this. Inside, you see the creature once again. Not before, it lashes its tentacled hand and creates a portal, not unlike the ones you've seen before, but different in some extent. The creature walks through this portal into a space filled with an infinite number of country-sized circular interlocking gears. But before it is a large mechanical tower made of gears and brass. You see this. There is a cut to the vision as you see that demonic entity walking away from what seems a large group of small geometric-shaped creatures. Their metallic bodies seem to be overcome with dark aura that seems to rust their exterior. Behind them is a small rift. As those creatures start to deteriorate and warp, that rift starts to crackle and shift in an unstable pattern. The vision fades once again, and you see that same entity obscured by most light. But what you can see surrounding it is nothing but water. The demon walks on the bottom of an endless ocean towards a great cavernous reef, and as the entity walks forward, they call out, extending, and coming from the reef is a gargantuan squid-like form of almost 30 feet in length, with a ring of tentacles surrounded a mouth connected to a conical central body. These piercing large yellow eyes look back to the demon as a conversation ensues, but there's no sound. The demon's 4 eyes then glow, and you watch as a symbol etches itself across the squid's body. And you see this symbol, which you've seen before. You can then peer past to see another rift start to become unstable. Lastly, the vision fades again, and this time you see the demon walking through a twisted, broken marsh of a forest. Everything surrounding encapsulated in darkness and shadow. The demon walks to the center where a gate of stone has been built around another rift. As the demon walks closer, a multitude of these twisted humanoid creatures ascend from the bog around, but stop as a massive figure of a dragon made of shadow approaches at great speed and attacks the demon. The demon grabs the dragon by the throat, stopping it dead in its tracks. The demon then slams the dragon down, placing its lizard-like foot upon its throat. Words are exchanged, and eventually the demon's eyes light up once more, and you see that same symbol etch itself into not only the dragon, but the humanoid creatures as well. They all bow, and you watch the rift within the gate become unstable. The vision pulls back once more, and you watch as this demon sitting atop its throne over time starts to grow in size. Cracks of molten energy start to permeate from its body, and eventually you see the demon walk into an open area in the abyssal jungle with the floating city behind them as it lashes its tentacle, cracking open a tear in the prime material plane. Although not large enough for them to get through, it makes commands to a plethora of its agents as they instead step through into the prime material plane. The pull then ripples, and the vision fades once again.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of not good stuff. Okay. Okay. Rian will take all of that in and try and stifle the fear. And say, so you said you could show me what was happening in the story of it and how to combat it, to prevent it from happening again or getting worse. That is a formidable foe and an army that I know that we can't face on our own right now.
You can see Lady Gemcloak actually has like this relative face of concern as she looks at you and says,
That is not just a formidable foe. That is the Prince of the Abyss himself. Some call him the Deep Father, but most call him Demogorgon.
for Yrsa, just for clarification, in that vision, you watched Demogorgon travel to Mechanus,
Yeah.
unstable the rift, travel to the plane of water, unstable that rift, and travel to the Shadowfell, and unstable that rift.
Shadowfell is the one where Yrsa knows Sludge is watching, right? Okay.
It seems as though Demogorgon is growing in power through his cultists, through spreading his chaos to the multiple planes of the multiverse. You ask how to combat this. You're already on the path. Closing the rifts is one. Another is destroying his worshippers, removing his power little by little. It seems as though he is not strong enough to make an appearance himself in this plane. But I fear, in order to close that rift, you will have to travel there.
And Rian will nod, and he'll just say, and I'm assuming, and if you would allow this to correct me if I'm wrong, killing the cultists weakens his powers slightly, but then those creatures that he enslaved, whether it be the dragon or that squid-like creature, killing those creatures would those weaken him further?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Okay.
There's also the route of removing the chaos from the creatures. They have been corrupted. That is what he does. Demogorgon's whole purpose is to create chaos across the multiverse, to destroy everything.
Understood. Thank you, Lady Gemcloak. And Rianne will take a bow.
She looks towards the other two, Gak and Basil. She looks towards Gak.
Please, tell me a story.
Okay. Could I, would you be okay if I cast a spell to, make my story more interesting?
You may.
Okay. Rianne and Vey, can you come over here real quick? I'm just gonna set something up.
And Gak's gonna try to bring Rianne and Vey over.
Vey goes over.
Yeah, Rianne
So-
would as well.
So I have a spell that I haven't cast it yet, but I promise it'll be safe. And if I hold this rope, it's gonna go up here, and there's gonna be a little house to go in, and it's invisible. But I need you guys to go up into the house, and then hold on to the other end of the rope. And when I tug the rope, I need you guys to pull it up, just a little bit, 10 feet. Is that okay?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
And Gak casts rope trick, and everyone sees his 60 foot of rope goes up and starts to float straight up into the air, and then it stops. And if Rian and Vey start to head up, once they get to the top, they start to crawl into something and disappear. And for Rian and Vey, you guys can see everything from inside there. And it's an extra dimensional space that will last for an hour, and it can hold 8 creatures, which is cool. But you can see everything, and attacks and spells can't go in or out. But there, you can see out of it as if there's a 3 foot by 5 foot window.
Okay. Hey there, Lady Gemcloak. I'm Gak. When I was a kid, my mom would tell me about stories and books, and I want to tell you my favorite one of those. I might not remember all the details, but I'll try my best. It's called The Boy Who Did. There was a boy who loved the sky. Every night he would sit out in front of his house, in the grass, or maybe there was a cobblestone road in front of his. I don't know what was in front of his house, but every night he would sit in front of the house and he would look up at the stars. He had dreams about going there, seeing the stars up close. His mom would always tell him, "You can do anything, you could do whatever you think you can do if you put your brain on it." So the boy put his brain on it and thought. He thought about flying up and going to the stars. Normally, stories is about somebody who could do something. But this story is special. It's about the boy who did. He practiced every day. He would jump. He would flap. He would concentrate on what he wanted to do. Soon, he was floating. He would float for a couple of seconds and then land back down. So he kept trying. And every time he would get higher and higher and higher, until one day he said goodbye to his family and he took off.
And Gak pulls on the rope and holds on to it for Rian and Vey to start pulling him up a little bit.
Yeah. Pull him up.
So Gak just starts lifting up into the air about 10
Yeah.
feet.
He left his family following his dream. As he floated up, he looked down at his house, the place he had his whole life, the only people he knew. He started to worry that he won't never see his mom and his dad and his sister again, but he had to fly. He felt it in his heart. And what he didn't know is that there was so much out here and that he'd meet new people and friends or family too. And he's happy. The end.
Lady Gemcloak, you can see a smile creep across her face as the elongated neck makes its way over towards you, Gak, and like looks down at you.
That was a wonderful story.
As she tips her head and the crown almost alights, and this little bead of light trickles down into your chest. You gain an inspiration.
Oh,
What is your question, Jack?
Oh. Can you give me just a second?
Very well.
Gak's actually going to he's going to cast sending to Gideon. He's gonna say, "Hey Gideon, it's Gak. Do you have a question for Lady Gemcloak? I think that you would know what to ask. Love you, miss you."
So, the funny thing is that we had this,
Yes,
and then Vey asked the question. So,
I have a plan for that.
Ryan read out what Gideon would respond with.
No way.
Yeah, he
Mhm, I asked
did.
him.
Love that.
But again, Vey asked this question.
So you can say what Ryan said, and then I have
Yeah.
a plan.
Okay. Ryan said, "Ask her how we can travel to all the rifts in time. Can you help us move around faster? Also, love you too." That's what Gideon said.
Oh.
Oh, dang it. They already asked that one. Okay, first of all, Gideon says he loves you. No, I'm sorry. That was for me. I'm just really overwhelmed. Okay. So my question is how so you know this. So we're going to the Blackmore's party, and it's definitely a trap. And we're trying to come up with the best way to prepare and defeat them and also save everybody. Is there a specific thing we could do that would make sure we're victorious?
She looks up to the sky above. There are no stars that present themselves. But you see these comets shoot across the sky, one after another.
I am sorry to say there is no definitive story for your question. However, it seems there are multiple ways which you can accomplish your goals. That story has not been written yet.
It's okay. Do we have enough time to get there?
If I'm able to call in this favor with my friend, then yes.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
She bows.
And
Looks
Gak bows
over.
back.
She looks over to the last one, Basil, and she looks at you with a curiosity.
Curious. You are of divine blood.
Yes. My mother is the Raven Queen.
Well,
I just found out too, so it's a lot to take in.
I knew the whole time.
Gak did. He did.
I very much appreciate the Raven Queen. She helped me survive when I was near death during the calamity. Well, daughter of the Raven Queen, would you mind telling me a story?
Yes. Even though she's my mother, she did not raise me. I was born into this world with different parents. When I was younger, and was still living at home in East Varia, my father was being promoted in his ranks. You see, he's a part of the military. And it was expected of us, our family, to provide gifts to show our gratitude for his hard work and dedication to the family. And I had handcrafted our family's insignia into a brooch. And our insignia is a snake wrapped around a rose with thorns. And it says, "I am ready," which is our family motto. Worried that he wouldn't like it, I scoured the market for something he might prefer. And one of the shopkeepers stopped me and asked why I was so frantic. And I showed her what I had made him, and she said that we can try as hard as we can to gain approval and love from someone. But when it's for the wrong people, it will never be enough. And the right people will just give it to you, and more. And of course he didn't like it, and I had eventually distanced myself from them, my crest, my family motto. I wanted nothing to do with them. But what the woman said stuck with me. And those words have helped me live my life all the way up until now. That I will not beg for love or respect, and the right people will easily love me. And then I realized that I may not be as distant from my upbringing as I thought. Because if a time comes when the undeserving wants to take it a step farther and hurt the ones I love, the people who give me what they couldn't, they better be prepared, because I am ready.
A grand story indeed. Well, Basil, daughter of the Raven Queen, what is your question?
My mother has been sending me visions for a good time now. Back before I even went on this journey, I have a garden back in Rodale where I live. And there's this type of sludge, fungus. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it started making its way into my garden from the woods. And it's killing everything. And it's very toxic to the touch as well. I have no idea what it. I don't. I guess my question is, how is there a way to stop it, to prevent it from slowly destroying everything? And she quickly summarizes the vision that the Raven Queen had set to her about all the death and all that kind of stuff.
You see that she plucks another star from the ceiling and places it into the pool, and the pool ripples, and another story comes into focus. The vision spans across the continent of the Valamine, spiraling above a town very familiar to you, the town of Wodale. The vision then shoots downward, bringing a beautiful, magical garden into focus. It travels down the roots of these plants. Eventually, you see the roots stop deep beneath the surface, and you look to see a massive cavern, and in the center of this cavern is a city made from the cavern around, but also a city made from dark irons and steel. The shapes are aggressive and nothing like you have ever seen before. And you see this.
Wow.
The vision pans down, and as it's making its way towards something of importance, you see the denizens of the city. Humanoid creatures with moist, rubbery purple skin, with bulging, rigid, elongated heads, reminiscent of an octopus. Where the mouth should be is a cluster of 4 flexible, elongated, unsegmented tentacles. As the vision passes by them, it eventually makes its way to the center of the city, and in the center you see a large sanctuary-like building with no ceiling. Within this building you see 2 things. A large pool housing an object that looks like a large brain surrounded in nondescript fluid, and not too far you see upon a pedestal an eyeball of 6 foot in diameter. The vision seems to almost speed up in a way, showing the passing of time. You see the brain get larger and larger. You also watch as these purple skinned creatures walk in and out of the sanctuary, some of them carrying bodies of their own that they throw into the fluid, and the brain consumes the bodies and grows again and again. Eventually, you start to see slime-like tendrils extend from the brain and attach itself to the eyeball. There's a pulsating, and eventually you watch that eyeball, like waking someone from a slumber, comes to life. It does not move from the pedestal, but rotates and perceives its surroundings. The eyeball is a bright red iris. The vision lifts above the city and speeds up once more, and you almost like a speed up video of like a decaying plant or fruit. See, originating from the central sanctuary, moss and fungus starts to grow over the entire city. The already alien construction becomes even more extraterrestrial. You can see the denizens of the city for a brief second ensue into panic and then silence. You see them now walking around the city covered in fungus, walking corpses controlled by some parasite. You then watch the fungus, that aura, creep up the cavern walls and eventually take hold on one of the roots. The decay and fungus starts to slowly eat away at this root and make its way further and further to the surface. Eventually, you see that same beautiful, magical garden rot and die slowly. The pool ripples, and that vision fades.
So there's a city underneath my city? I don't know what to do with this information.
I would like Yrsa and Basil to roll wisdom checks.
Oh, 18.
A natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
From that vision, that eyeball, once it was awoken and you saw that energy start to seep through, you both think back to visions you've had in the past of an entity with a red eye and a purple eye. And you think back and you realize the purple eye wasn't really an eye. Inside the socket was just bioluminescent fungus. The eye itself was missing. This eyeball that is on this pedestal that is creating this aura of decay and fungus looks exactly like the other one.
So this is a Rachel question.
Oh, my notes
Someone
are
who I know my notes are like I can't really like super keep up with them. So as a player who doesn't know like any kind of monsters or like evil races and this kind of stuff, because like I know City of Ember, I can get down with that. That's a nice series, but this is very different. And so I'm wondering what like the eyeball is, that like a D&D monster?
It's not a monster.
So it's just an eyeball?
I will say, because of your natural 20, the way it looked in the vision that you saw, it looked like this eyeball was obviously ancient, a relic of sorts. And it looks like that city that was built down there was built around this eyeball. And eventually, over time, that brain that grew and grew eventually was able to make a connection with it and then awaken it. And when it did that is when all of that fungus shit started to happen.
brain hurt.
Okay. Basil still does not know what to do with this information. You can see she's clearly like the gears are turning in her head and she's trying to make sense of what's going on. She feels better knowing like there's a whole ass city underneath her garden. But like that's as far as she can get. She's like, well, like I guess I better pack up and move because there's no way I can take down a whole city, you know. So she's just kind of sitting there, like she bows and like, thank you. And
You seem
like,
confused.
a little bit. I totally understand the idea of an eyeball and a brain. I know what those are. And like a city underneath Wodale. I'm caught up with that. However, I don't know what my next steps would be. I know I already used my question and I'm going to respect you and I respect that. So I'm just having a moment. I'm trying to figure out.
It seems that the story put before you to save your garden that relic beneath your city must be destroyed.
You can see also like a look of confusion on her face.
I'm curious as to when the Illithid got here as well.
You said Illithid?
Yeah, basically mind flayers.
Oh, okay.
As she says.
They are from where I am, the Astral Sea. It is curious for them to be here so long. It is also curious that a relic of the Queen of Fungus and Decay rests beneath your city.
Is the Queen of Fungus and Decay still alive? Because, like, I can I talk?
She does not reside on our plane. She resides in the Abyss.
Everyone make a history check.
You got it. History.
I still feel like Gak would just no.
Okay.
Appetite.
17.
Oh, please.
Hey.
Okay. So Yrsa and Basil, you would have read this in storybooks, in books of old, of during the calamity, during and everything you would have read. 17 is high enough. Everything you would have read was bits and pieces. The Abyss is, most of the planes are kind of known, but the Hells and the Abyss are the two that are the most unknown, because no one wants to go there. However, there is documentation, and you remember ever so slightly of these lords and queens of the Abyss and the Hells. And you remember something, the Queen of Fungus and Decay. The queen that apparently resides on the 222nd layer of the Abyss is known as Zugmoy. And I will spell it for you.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Zugtmoy.
Look at that spelling.
You also remember, for Yrsa mostly, this is curious to you because this does not deal with a rift, but this is a part of this demon queen, and somehow it was awoken and she was able to make a connection, and you can tell from the vision is spreading the essence of fungus and decay through this relic.
Right.
With that, Lady Gemcloak looks to all of you and says,
It seems that we are all out of stories and all out of questions. I hope that I was of some assistance.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My good friend, Shen, has turned in a favor, so I am obliged to give you one favor. I can transport you to a place of your choosing. I can transport you to the abode of Illador Dumain. I could transport you to my friend, Uridan, with an object that could potentially help you in your transportation. I could transport you beneath your city to the city beneath. Or I could transport you back. Salsa.
Okay.
That's a lot of options.
Out of character.
Ow.
Do-
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, out of character. I'm only asking this because Knight's not here. Do we know what Vay would want to do? Or like what?
I think we shouldn't make this decision until Vay is
Yeah,
here.
that's
to
what I
begin
was-
with.
Yeah. Also, Hikari is in
Sangsa. Oh yeah.
But Kayla, as a player, thinks it might be best to go get this device that can help us travel later.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it will
This-
help us travel.
Yeah.
Maybe Lady Gemcloak could like
Little boopity boppity.
add
Where-
Hikari.
Where is the device? Like,
She hasn't told you.
She hasn't told us. She's just with a friend. And we don't know how far that friend is from
Limgrove.
Illador.
Or
Yeah.
Illador.
I will say this: it is good that we can wait for night.
Yeah.
You have choices, but with the immense lore and information dump that this session was, of finally getting to Gemcloak, asking these questions. When we return next week, you all can turn in a favor and have her transport you to a place of your that she listed.
Yeah.
I want
By
to
the
go.
Could you put those
The
lists
Feywild.
in the
Yeah.
Discord? So
I will. But
and
also,
we asked Lady Gemcloak to clarify where her friend is.
no.
well, okay.
Okay. Well, that's not wonderful.
I will clarify it potentially next week when night is here.
Oh, cool.
Okay, John.
Okay.
I will say no, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say
Alright.
shit. However, this brings us to the end of the Lady Gemcloak arc, which means level 7.
Whoa! God.
Does it also mean that is next session book 4?
Woo, 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 woo.
This is where the turn of the campaign starts. You guys have so much
No.
information,
Leveling up.
and your
Right
quest
now.
log has gone
Nice.
like this. It's gone with like this, and then just broke off into so many different areas.
Oh yeah, it has.
Our campaign should be called the Butterfly Effect, because Jesus Christ.
I love that movie with Ashton Kutcher.
So thanks for watching,
that's
everyone.
Dude, where's my car?
Yeah. Thanks for watching,
Shit,
everyone.
yeah.
We'll see you next week at the start of chapter 4 with the party at level 7. Let's see what they choose.
Pea soup.